try to force something. It's just one of those things, right? You lose your carry 2 times. You sort of like feel like you lost your own. It was a little bit late, and I think it was great on sort of like not give Empire an inch here. I think that would have given the momentum back to Empire, but now it feels like backside. They might even be able to get.
Wow, that was some interesting interaction right there. Time walk just before you get the static storm. Remember, Reality Rifter does not stun, obviously, and the Chaos Bolt came in a little bit too late. Now Chaos Knight, that Chain Frost, it's not even going to bounce back, but it won't matter. Or maybe it will? No, it's just too much damage. Obviously, Lena doing what she could nearby, but not enough. So, yeah, very good reaction on the part of Faceless Void, realizing he was getting pulled in. If that static storm catches him, who knows what happens, but it's not the case. Meanwhile, Enchantress is going to be found, though. Laguna Blade is here, and that's another kill for Half-9 playing the Lena. So nice find, at least on Enchantress, and they do get a kill out of it in the end, despite losing Chaos Knight.
It's obviously not a great trade, but... And the Chaos Knight, he already had his armor anyway, so he didn't really lose any gold. And getting rid of the Enchantress is kind of nice, because Enchantress has been taking away a lot of resources. She's been farming very aggressively. Poshka just doing a very good job of trying to be as annoying to effect as possible. But yeah, soon the Bloodstone is going to be there for the Lena, and after that I wouldn't be surprised if Effect try and force something. I think the Bloodstone timing might even fall perfectly in line with Earthshaker's Blink. He's very close to it, in fact. They gave him even the tier 1 top just to make sure that he gets the early Blink as well. So if they have Blink and Bloodstone at the same time, Effect should probably look to be very aggressive.
Yeah. That had to be a misclick by Lich, by the way, with the smoke. I mean, he did it right in the middle lane on a Mirana that was farming up the creep wave, and he was also in vision anyways of this, of the Radiant side as well. So that's a very curious smoke decision right there. But yeah, I'm guessing it was a misclick. He placed a sentry ward right after, so realized where they were in the inventory. It happens. Double damage rune picked up by Mage on Mirana, and they're heading towards that top lane, trying to keep Sidoi in check. They so far have done a good job of, but he makes a good job, does a good job of going into the trees for now, but now Mage opens up, finds a free kill on RZ, despite getting caught by the Static Storm kinetic field. It's not going to matter. Bottom lane? No. Change is just hiding nearby.
It's actually interesting. The way this sort of like worked out for them, even though they, as you mentioned, the smoke was very obvious, it was in the middle of the lane, they were still able to find a kill. Almost actually got the CK. It was very close to getting the CK as well. If the Disruptor hadn't shown, maybe they initiate onto the CK. I'm not sure they would have gotten it, but it would have been close for sure.
Dire are scanning.
Yeah, looks like bottom lane though. This might be the next destination of the fight.
Yeah, using that Nether Blast to take down the tower. Good for it, of course, and that's where Pugna's kind of the anti-Lich to an extent. As Chronosphere comes out, catches a couple, including Lena. This is trouble. The Chain Frost bounces over Half-9. He is going to fall as well, and he just got the Bloodstone. Oh, the worst case scenario. He literally just picked that up from the shop here, and now it's on 8 charges instead of the 12.
Absolutely sucks. Absolutely sucks. This hurts a lot. Good response from, or good initiation from Empire, of course. Ghosttake with a very strong Chronosphere. I thought he would only catch the Pugna, but catching the Lena at the edge there, I think Effect just didn't expect that there was, or potentially underestimated the range of that. But yeah, this is good for Empire. Their cores definitely need the space that they buy themselves, especially getting the Lena off the map. Getting their Bloodstone charges off of her is pretty strong, and it just buys Empire so much time for their own lineup. They're not on a timer. Empire can take this as late as they want. They have the lineup for it. So delaying this mid-game aggression or mid-game impact from Effect and their cores is pretty much all that Empire wants.
Lone Druid is just quietly farming now in his own jungle. With that Hand of Midas, of course, is just going right into the Radiant. So it's pretty committed to the bear build here. He did get the level 10 talent of 250 health as well. So yeah, at this point, it's safe to say it's just going to be an outright bear build for the Lone Druid instead. And I mentioned that earlier with the idea of the Chronosphere from Faceless Void. It makes it a little bit awkward, or potentially, but it's still not a reason to just not go it outright either. So
Radiant's middle tower
there's also the concern regarding
Dire's
Effect's lineup. They have a lot of strong heroes against the bear. Pretty much
Radiant's
some of the best
middle
counters,
tower has fallen.
with Reality Rift, Mind's Armor is actually really strong
Dire's
there. Then of course Lina with a lot of like damage for long range makes it very difficult for the bear to really siege the tower as well. So that's why I think going a hybrid build could have potentially been a better solution. But you know, the bear is still very strong. They have a way to protect him.
You catch Pugna here with an arrow, but there's a lot of backup. They're still kind of going in. Mac goes up to the Gripify on Enchantress, stopping it, and Mirana's going to be able to barely escape out of that kinetic field. You do see the Nether Ward is put down. The Laguna Blade helps snipe down Mirana after she gets glimpsed back in, but now here comes that bear. No Radiance just yet. No Sacred Relic even, but it will be enough to beat down the Earthshaker right there. Chaos Knight, he wants to fight though. Unfortunately, only gets one spawn of an illusion out of that Phantasm, so not nearly as scary, but still might be able to make a play here as they pull back in with the glimpse on a Chappie. Life Drain coming out on top of that, and that is going to be a kill on Lone Druid as well. So this is a very kind of slow, awkward fight at this bottom lane. But Effect does get 2 core hero kills, and they only lose Earthshaker there.
It was very awkward because Ghostig was actually farming Ancients, and he was very low on HP. So he couldn't really join the fight. If he had joined the fight, yeah, he would have had a Chronosphere, but he would have been pretty much instantly killed. But if Empire have a Chronosphere in that fight and they are able to play around the Chronosphere, they probably turn it around. They're just not able to really catch any of the attack side. And that's, I guess, one of the downsides to Empire's lineup. Their catch is very much dependent on the Chronosphere. Without that, they only have really the arrow and I guess whatever creep that Chalmers has. So, Effect can pretty much just kite around Empire, just go back and forth, That's pretty much what they did, right? They lured them in and then they immediately retreated, and when Empire retreated, they glimpsed them back, they stunned them, they stalled them. So this is definitely a concern for Empire, but this is pretty much just based on how they took that fight just then, and because Ghostig wasn't around to join the fight. I think going forward, they shouldn't really be as concerned, but if you're Effect, I guess you think to yourself, well, this is definitely a way we can approach these fights going forward. Like, if we just exploit that that weakness on Empire's side and Empire's drop, we can look to take those fights.
Yeah, definitely can't overlook Pugna either. I mean, he's level 13 at this point. He's up there with the best of them. His farm is, you know, he's in the middle of the pack, but he's not far behind. He's got the Aether Lens, and the Rod of Atos is actually pretty much finished here. He's going to be able to buy the pattern, and thus the delivery of it as soon as he wants right here, at least. So, gonna have a nice another crowd control ability. Lone Druid top lane. They want to try to gank him.
Here on the Lina. That's pretty much dead out ninja, isn't it?
Oh, LSA. Arrow, arrow, arrow! Oh, he almost ran into it, but he dodges, and no, he's not dead. Although Fanscore runs him down and throws out the Chain Frost. That is definitely worth it.
Still denies himself
to kill Lina. He did. Okay,
yeah,
you're right.
He used the Bloodstone charge. Just.
All right.
I'm not even sure the ultimate would have been enough to actually kill him. I think it hit him, and he was still survived. Oh, he still survived.
Naboshka, return damage, that untouchable, of course, helping right here against the Chaos Knight, but it's not going to be enough. Phantasm Army helps stew her in, as well as the assistance of Earthshaker and Disruptor. So yeah, we're watching that top lane try to develop a little bit, but by the time that jump happened bottom, they had to TP back. And thus Lone Druid just continues to farm as well. So yeah, whether or not it was going to kill him, I mean, it caused him to deny, which again, in the long run, I think it's definitely worth it for that Lich to make that sacrificial dive right there of sorts, but...
Especially because he had to deny before the Lich died, so he didn't even get any Bloodstone charges out of it.
Oh yeah, he's down to 6 charge. God, that's such... This is what the thing, my not opinion on this, but the idea of this item is just so, like, it's so risky to me always. And I understand there's, like, Lina and Storm Spirit are the two that come to mind that you, like, always see it on, and it's understandable, but... Man, it's just, a game like this happens though, and the value of that item just feels like it goes so downhill all of a sudden when you're at 6 charges a couple minutes after you get it.
Yeah, especially since you dedicate so much time farming it, it definitely can feel very unrewarding at times. And it's sort of a double-edged sword in a sense as well, right? Because if you don't get your charges up, the item almost becomes useless to a degree. But it's just a very important item to have. If he didn't have Bloodstone, if he had a Yield Scepter instead, he would have died during the Chronosphere. The Void actually does a lot of damage with his Monster Madness, but because Lina is so tanky right now, it was not possible for him to kill her. So, I'm not sure about this time around.
Oh boy. The Bash proc happening. Has Chronosphere in 4 seconds if necessary. Appenine surviving for now, but it's not going to be enough. Mage runs him down. A couple auto attacks later. This gets the kill. You do see a response attempt from Effect. They're running with Sadoy. He has an Echo Saber now as well. Going to beat down Murata. Split up with a Phantasm. And definitely going to pick up this kill. Out comes a Chain Frost, but a little bit late. Going to be able to do too much in return, although Disruptor gets caught by the Entangle. They want to also get Sadoy. Not going to happen, though. The Radiance Burn is going to finish him off despite the Decrepify. Trying to delay that. King R will also fall off to the side. And so they get a couple of responses out of that middle fight here. But ultimately a 3-for-1. They lose Mirana. They get yet another kill on Lina, though, and now it's down to 4 charges. It just continues to feel worse and worse for the Lina here.
And for this entire fight, they didn't even have to commit the Chronosphere whatsoever. So it's pretty good for Empire, actually, because if they wanted to, they could group up and maybe force a fight, or, well, I guess not really force a fight, because Effect probably wouldn't want to take it, but maybe force down the tower. And I actually think they should, because right now they're sort of, even though I said they're not on the timer, I think they're giving Effect too much space around the map. I think Empire just feels too confident just farming, you know, on all their cores. Oh yeah, we're all getting a lot of farm, and yeah, sure, Lone Druid is the top of the net worth. But I think at the same time, they're giving away too much time and space for these other cores to farm up, and suddenly Cedo is the 3rd highest net worth. He pretty much had the worst laning that you could ask for. I mean, I guess he did get a lot of farm in terms of last hits, but he lost his tower early on, he lost his lane pretty much early on, and he was killed as well, so... I don't know, I think they're just giving them too much time.
Are scanning.
I think they should just try and force a fight, maybe force down the mid tower, force down the bottom tower, just get more map control as well.
Yeah, Mirana we haven't really talked a lot about yet, but you do see the item progression of Mage. He chose go that first item, Dragonlance, which is definitely a good item for if a lot of fighting's happening earlier on, but not necessarily going to really enhance that farm compared to something like even the Yasha, Maelstrom, etc. But has that now into the Diffusal Blade. So it has the nice combo here, and sure enough, Empire is searching. They're gonna find a treat here in Mag, and they definitely should get this kill. No Chronosphere should be needed. Decrepify is making it a little more awkward, but that'll get purged off eventually, and they do take him out, so just kill onto the Pugna. Now how do they react off of this? Again, they still have Chronosphere at this point. For more objectives, seems like would be the smart decision. King R, he was spotted right there. He does have the blink, so that reaction of Effect is definitely ready.
I guess they're going Roshan, which also makes a lot of sense. Honestly, they could go both Roshan and Tower. Even though Pugna's going to be back on time for the tower defense, if they do force a fight, I think they could do both. So as I say that, looks like Effect wants to contest the Roshan, but they can't. With that arrow, I don't think they can.
They're still going. Vanscore going to be caught initially. Ursher going to see jump in. No, he couldn't get in there in time. He does stun at the perfect time, but Mage will eventually pick up the Aegis. And oh my god, that was an explosion onto the Enchantress right there. So Chaos Knight does show off that if he's able to catch somebody, he will drop them. Does do a couple. To get the Aegis, but comes at a little bit of a cost, and Lina's hunting. This could be a kill on Caustic. He's dying. Look at the blade. Time walk. No, he couldn't get it off. The Fissure Stun hits in time, and they ultimately find 3 kills. The Glimpse is not going to take in Chappie anywhere for a kill on him, too. But, I mean, they got the Aegis, but they lose 3 heroes and a lot of tempo here.
They do. And with that, I guess Effect could apply a little bit of pressure on this tower. I don't think they should be able to get it just because the bottom is here after all. But yeah, this is pretty good on the Effect side. Again, they couldn't get the Aegis, but I think they pretty much got the best trade they could have gotten. They would have never been able to get a tower, so what they did was just get 3 heroes and maybe get a little bit map control back as well. So that's pretty nice for them. But again, Empire, once the Void comes back, I fully expect them to, or I hoped. I think if you're an Empire fan, you want to hope that they, you know, smoke up and then potentially just force another fight, because again, they have the Chronosphere, they haven't used it in, it seems like forever at this stage. And it is pretty much the single best spell that they can use against the lineup of Effect. So, yeah, they might just look for a fight here together to ultimate just the Void. Unfortunately for Effect, Void just passes by the scan, so they don't know he's here.
Big chance for that Chronosphere. They find King R, they know he's here. He used his Shadow Blade, but obviously leads into a death. Although the return kill from Lina happens, that burst of F9s. And again, the Bloodstone up to 8 charges now all of a sudden. So he is recovering, and he's actually up there at the top net worth now with that Lone Druid.
Speaking
at this point of the game,
looking to chase Effect here. Effect tried to gank the Lone Druid, but now that those CPs coming in, Effect or Empire are trying to turn it around, but Effect are not going to be caught up. Ooh, that arrow.
Oh, that tickled that butt. But he does,
again, it's a bit awkward on Empire's side. They don't really have any catch potential. When the Void is down, what are they really going to throw at people, right? When the CK is retreating like that, what can they do to prevent him from retreating? And the answer currently is nothing. So this is definitely a concern going forward. And in big team fights as well, you know, the longer the game goes, the stronger even the CK is going to become, and the more difficult it is even for Empire to keep him down, because without the Chronosphere, even with the Chronosphere, it's going to be really difficult to keep the CK down. You know, once he picks up a hard, once he picks up a C, yeah, they technically could potentially kill him, but if they don't control him, or he's going to kill them first, in most cases as well. So this is definitely going to be difficult going forward. I think this comes back to Empire just giving Effect a little bit too much space and time to farm up on those heroes. And now, right now, I think they're actually on a very even footing. And if you look at the experience and gold earned, we're back to only a 2.5k difference. That is absolutely insane, considering how this game has been going and how Empire probably should have been ahead by much more.
Yeah, only 1,000 net worth lead as well. I mean, I definitely agree with you. And this is one of those games where, as far as like, okay, well, let's talk about the scaling into the late game. I think you could definitely make an argument for both sides, if anything, perhaps even leaning towards Effect. That level 25 talent of Lena becomes very dangerous, and then Chaos Knight. We've seen plenty of him recently to know that this hero is absurd in the late game stage, especially with some good farm, and which he's definitely gotten towards now, at least at this point. So he can just have that option to pick somebody off with a Phantasm Reality Rift quickly, and that somebody could be from the Lone Druid to the Bear to the Enchantress, etc. In these fights. So definitely see Effect is most certainly in this game. And then you have also this glorified support, the term I like to use, of Pugna, who's only going to get better and better as well. Going to Blink Dagger, by the way, he's not going the Axe just yet. Speaking of that idea of a glorified support, it's such a high value item. It seems like. So I'm expecting him to maybe get an Axe. Could you see another direction, or does the Axe make the most sense to you?
I think the Axe just makes a lot of sense. I think it's pretty much one of the go-to items at this stage of the game anyway. I don't know. It's always difficult to say whether or not Axe is good in some heroes, because there are some heroes that, you know, are pretty much the best Axe carriers in the game, or rather where Axe is like a must-have item. But even for them, the Axe build-up is just very awkward, because Axe, yeah, it provides you with stats, but those stats aren't even that great in comparison to other items of the same cost. So, but still, I do think that it would be a good choice.
Chronosphere open on Earthshaker. Oh, Decrepify's nearby, that puts down another one. He's gonna save it for now, allows him to blink. Gostic, can he get in here for a bash? No, he cannot. What a save from the Pugna. Happened to be right there, ready to go.
But Empire now taking a tower. Of course, it is very unfortunate that they don't get a kill with Chronosphere, but at least getting a tower is going to be very important here for them to have control as well. But I believe that, yeah, that Aegis ran out actually a couple of minutes ago already.
Oh wow, Lena just bossed to the top lane. He's going to drop Faceless Void. I caught that lit. I don't know if he was seen porting it or what. It seemed like he almost was. And Gostic just like disrespected the idea that he could just jump him and kill him, but maybe not. Aphanine jumps in, kills him, and now he's looking for more. He doesn't have the Laguna Blade, of course, for 30 more seconds. That bear is pretty low, but they're going to find Aphanine. Maybe he's overstayed his welcome. It looks like he has. Yeah, he has to deny himself right there before they kill him. So Lena overstaying a little bit. Sidoi, though, trying to capitalize now. As he runs in, the fight continues. BKB popped by Mage, looking to drop RZK. Again, the Decrepify with the save. Reality Rift pulled on Chappie. It's a little bit beefier than the other targets, and taking longer to kill because of that. The life drain assisting, though, and down it goes. Chappie, the Reality Rift pulled on Mage. He's barely able to leap away before he gets bursted down as well. They're also going to find Vance playing that Lich. So we'll end up being 3 kills as they lose Lena in the long run.
And this comes again, these kind of fights come back to the fact that this CK was allowed to farm pretty much the entire game, and that Empire's lineup just doesn't really deal too well with Effect's lineup if they don't have Void and the Chronosphere. Void, not only did he use the Chronosphere earlier as well, he was dead on top of it. So it's just very difficult for Empire to take these head-on fights like this, especially with the Phantasm up, and they don't have a good way of dealing with all these illusions. Honestly, I think they've reached a stage where they have to kind of avoid those fights unless they find like a really strong opening with a Chronosphere. But the way Effect has been playing, they're never really giving them these great bonus with the Chronosphere. I think the best Chronosphere we've seen was a 2-man Chronosphere bottom. yeah, this is a nice one. If they get the kill, which they should. It's a nice one. But it's also just a single one, right? Just a single target.
It is. It's on a key target, but yeah, I understand your point. Now, to be this sentry is the only reason they're able to get that kill right there. Without the sentry, they do not see him in that spot. Now, Enchantress though gets caught hanging around too long and he's living for now. Though those Nature's Attendants are healing up quite a bit actually, and making this a very difficult kill right here on a Miposhka. That with the untouchable as usual, a tough kill indeed, but. Man, is he really going to live through this? Fissure finally comes out, another Decrepify, another blast. There you go. That'll finally kill her.
It's just very awkward to kill her because, yeah, they have to use Decrepify really to kill her to prevent her from like turning around and stuff. But at the same time, their magic damage output isn't that great on these three heroes because they are more about control more so than burst damage, and you don't really want to drop the Echo Slam on that. So it just takes a little bit of time. I mean, Poshko was kind of playing around with him as well. They're even considering bringing in back Ghost Stick, but I think somebody made the call now. Just don't go in. Miposhka's dead anyway, and I think it was a smart call because I don't think Void would have really done anything there.
They do have a gem on Earthshaker, by the way, and yeah, Gostic was running into that situation, so phew, that was close. Earthshaker was running back after him and almost tried to jump him there, but no, he gets back in time. So he'll be fine for now. What is he going for? Okay, BKBs are coming out. He's going for his, being that Faceless Void. Marana already has hers, as we saw earlier on. And AC's almost finished on Lundred. Speaking of the course right here. At least on the Dire side. So that's the item progression on the Radiant team. You have Lina. A Silver Edge is going to be the choice, actually. And then Chaos Knight, of course, that heart. There we go. He clicks the couple more items he needs. He gets it. He now has the full heart of Tarask. Right here, but Silver Edge. Let's talk about that. What's the idea with the Silver Edge, you think?
It just allows him to have more burst damage early on. It's a very strong item, I think, on CK, just because the stats are really strong. You know, the mana is something else you can use, the attack speed, of course, and then the bonus slow, of course, is also really nice. And if you find somebody with Reality Rift, and you get that, not only get the Mind's Armor, but you get the double hit from the Echo Saber, together with the Chaos Strike, if you get just one proc, it's very deadly. It's very deadly, and being able to burst down any target on Empire's side, especially if it's something like the Void who has high mobility and can walk off the damage, is very important. So I really like the build.
Going for a kill here. Lundred got glimpsed back. An awkward Reality Rift, but the Static Storm hitting him as well. Laguna Blade, he pops a Shrine though. Again, Lundred proving to be pretty beefy right here. And he actually survives. Chaos Knight's having trouble finding a good target. In comes the Echo Slam though, and they're dropping Faceless Void. He couldn't get a Chronosphere off that whole time. He still had it. Satoy taking the impetus attacks. Meanwhile, on that Chaos Knight, he is getting low and eventually will be killed off. Actually, he's dead for 70 seconds. Aphanine, he might be in some trouble now. He's going to be slowed down by the Diffusal Blade. It's going to be an Ultra kill for Mage. It just all of a sudden started adding up right there. The right clicks, picking up that Maelstrom, all that spread damage happening. And just like that, it's a 5-for-1. It seemed like such a good start for Effect as well.
No Chronosphere
on the target.
No Chronosphere used. It was just very awkward because they couldn't all commit to the Alondred from the beginning. The CK was very far ahead and the others weren't able to follow up immediately. If they had, they would have been able to burst it down for sure. But I also think that, what was it? Was Laguna Blade on cooldown or was it used at the very beginning? Let me see. Oh, it was used at the very beginning of the fight. Either way, they didn't have enough burst to just bring down the Alondred. If they had, I think this was a completely different fight, but not only did Lund survive, the Bears survived as well, and with the Radiant's missed chances makes it very difficult for the Chaos Knight in those fights, especially in prolonged fights. So, well, very unfortunate that they are forced to buy back on the Pugna as well, and it doesn't even do that much. They still lose the racks.
Yeah, they lose the racks. BKB committed out of Mage, but just to make sure to escape right there at the end. But you're right. I mean, the lack of burst damage. I mean, it was bursty, but Lundred really showing off that he is tanky, man. That Hooded Defiance alone. I know he got that very early on in the game, but that proved to do a lot of work right there against the Laguna Blade nuke even from the Lina. And mentioned with the Radiance Burn mixed in over time, if you're not going to get that early burst on a hero that you go for, then no doubt it's going to favor Empire.
And the way the fight was spread was also very just, I think, a bit of a miscommunication from Effect, because the Lundred after being gone on initially, he was able to make it to the Shrine, and then only the Lina and I think the Pugna were focusing really, and then suddenly the CK was focusing somebody else entirely, and then they were basically not focusing any target together as a team anymore, allowing the Lundred to survive, allowing pretty much everybody to survive, because they were so focused on, like, one part of the team was focused on preventing the Void from getting off his Chronosphere because it's such a huge spell, right? But that in turn basically cost them the fight because yeah, they killed the Void without him using Chronosphere, but they lost the fight because they were unable to kill the Lone Druid immediately as well.
Enchantress, Hurricane Pike. Go with the Hooded Defiance that she also got very early on in this game. But Enchantress's damage is also something you got to start respecting now quite a bit, and maybe Nags on herself could be potentially coming. What about the Nags on Pug in this? Okay, he is going for it. He does have the point booster, and
yeah, he went,
needs the 3 items
first. It's just I think this itemization makes a lot of sense. You know, having the blink first, Rod of Aethos, Ethelyn's blink, just for more mobility, more stats, better range, and then having the items afterwards. Because if you go those items first, you have more mana as well to sustain the items in the first place.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Some mid-wars action going on. Roshan is up, but Empire, they're trying to roam around and pick somebody off first. Lena would be a great target, and she's in trouble. Time Walk Chronosphere. Don't think she's living through this one. She is not tanky enough. And she will go down. That's 80 seconds. Going to be dead for her. And actually, more heroes are caught on the Radiant side. They also get Earthshaker. Now, Sandoi's also going to get caught. Oh, no. It's just going to get worse and worse. No buybacks on the 2 currently. They would not have a buyback on Chaos Knight either. He's going to pop Phantasm. Try to run. Gets a lot of illusions out of it, but it's not enough. He goes down as well. And it is falling apart for effect right now. The arrow is going to just simply go through our Zeke. Is he too going to be run down? You know, Glimmer Cape and survive. So now if you're Empire, you got to be careful. I mean, you don't want to waste too much time just running into the base, but they are going to go for the range tracks middle. Let's see how they react ultimately to this here. Probably bottom, yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower has
the thing is,
more backdoor.
Because CK used his Phantasm, and I think it was, I mean, it wasn't a bad decision because he knew he was dead, right? But because of that, they know that they don't have to see the CK, even if he does have buyback, because when CK comes back without Phantasm, he's basically useless.
Victory.
Very unfortunate for effects. Basically losing this game in what, 1 fight and a half. That one fight basically turned the momentum around. They lost sort of like the map control as well against Empire, and now they just got picked apart. I think a very undeserved ending for Effect, who played very well in the mid game in my opinion. But I mean, that's why I said I think the draft from Empire is much more straightforward. They have so much. I think it's very straightforward in what they want to do. You know, they have the team fight with the Chronosphere. They have the pick-up potential with the Chronosphere. They have the push, of course, with the Bear, and well, just because of the Bear, one team fight immediately transitioned into pretty much, you know, map control and then racks as well. And that's just something Effect didn't really have. And Effect were unable to take like those big team fights. Yeah, they got like a lot of pickoffs with the Lena on the Void, for example.
of the summer. When I'm like, boy, got your body on my mind. You make my heart beat faster. I'll be a sweet disaster. Deep in my bones, I want your love, love, love. Take off your clothes, clothes, clothes. I want your love, love, love. You drink my rose, rose, rose. I want your love.
You make me feel like I'm awake. I don't know why you make me shine like a star in the sky. I'm okay. I wanna take a breath. I'm falling in love. I'm falling in love. I wanna hold your hand. Don't leave me alone. Don't leave me alone. You make me high. Oh yeah. You're by my side, baby. Only you can save me. Only you can save me. Get me through, get me through, yeah. Get me through, get me through, can save. Get me through, yeah. I hold you tight to blow my mind like a bottle of wine. I'm insane. I come alive, you drive me wild when I kiss you at night. I'm okay. I wanna take a breath. I'm falling in love. I'm falling in love. Falling in love. I wanna hold your hand. Don't leave me alone. We get lost, we can get hide. Because me gone, I feel alive. Anywhere, anyway, I will love you. We rule the world, just you and I. Just let me down, we walk the line. But now the things go wrong, I'll take a shot for you. Give me your love, give me clouds, never let you go. Give me your love, give me clouds, never let you go. Give me your love. Give me your love. We get lost, we can get hide. Because me gone, I feel alive. Anywhere, anyway, I will love you. We rule the world, just you and I. Just let me down, we walk the line. But now nothing's gone wrong, I'll take a shot for you. Give me your love, give me clouds, never let you go. Give me your love, give me clouds, never let you go. Give me your love. Give me your love. Give me your love. Give me your love. Never let you go.
Five seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Team Empire's turn to ban. Dire team ban. Team Empire's turn to ban. Dire team pick. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
All right. right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Here we go, game number 2. After a little bit of a break there.
Empire 1-0. Qualifying.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Bane first pick. This is very Vega-esque in a sense. We've seen Vega definitely be pretty much the pioneers of this Bane, the like first face pick, and I've seen a couple of teams also do run it as well, but you know, some of them not as good with it as Vega has been in the past couple of days. And once again, actually, Effect letting through the Miposhka Enchantress. Interesting choice for me because I don't necessarily think Miposhka's Enchantress was a deciding factor in that game, but I do think that it was a very dominant factor in the early game. And I'm curious why they let it through and Empire immediately pick it up, because of course, when you have the opportunity to pick it up, why not?
They were able to get away with even a 4th pick Enchantress last game, remember? So they, you know, but decided this time around, not going to take that risk, getting it now with the 2nd pick. Also the 1st pick Pugna though. This is a hero that's getting some attention here in this series. We mentioned last game, Effect actually picked it up with one of their first 2 picks. So that's going to be Empire's turn now, and then Doom, a pretty good or quick response even from Effect. The first thing I think about is obviously with the Devour, being able to devour the Enchantress creeps, I guess. So I'm sure that's part of the reason why they like the Doom pick here. And now you have the bans to follow. Broodmother gonna be so far. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, no, go
well,
ahead.
a different start to this draft again here. I mean, I'm very you know, intrigued by the drafting so far from these 2 teams in the the first game and now into the second game.
Well, yeah, it's I wonder now that, you know, Effect potentially just picked the Pugna last game this early because it was sort of a counter pick to Empire, or maybe it's a counter pick from Empire to Effect. Either way, Doom definitely a hero that we've also seen sort of like crop back into the meta right now in the past couple of weeks now, both in China but also CAS, a little bit in Europe as well, and I believe SEA as well. So this is definitely a hero that's sort of coming back into the meta. Like I said, it is sort of with the Devour, it can be a counter to the Enchantress, but it just provides you with some sort of like economic. He just farms basically as much as the Enchantress, if not more, in the early game, and that's actually very important because with a jungler on the other side, you could potentially lose the network war. So this is a bit of a sort of like stabilizing factor. And interesting actually that they take up the Lich. Obviously thought that Effect could have potentially gone for the Lich, though I wonder if potentially this is actually a 4-position Doom more so than an offlaner Doom. We've seen it sort of like played in both roles. I do think it's very potent in both roles, but I kind of want it as a 4-position. Now that I look at it, I do think it would probably be worth more in a 4-position more so than a 3-position.
Yeah.
Dire team pick.
It's enough for the roam, getting that Doom effect in general against the likes of a Pugna. Most certainly a powerful ability to use this game. So Disruptor, gonna be the 3rd pick for Empire. We are seeing Effect was the team last game that ran a Pugna and a Disruptor even. So Empire themselves gonna pick up both of those heroes earlier on, as well as the Enchantress, of course. Now Effect having to think about what they want to respond to that now. Of course, again, if you figure they have their 5 and 4 supports, needing their offlane, mid, and carry now to work with. But so far, not a lot given away from Empire. They definitely got a fair amount of reach on their side, I will say that, with the heroes that they have so far. Somewhat squishy, potentially, but of course, Decrepify can help with that.
It really feels like this is basically somewhat of a revision of the last draft, basically, right? We have some heroes on that side, some heroes on this side. Effect going with Mirana now. I like this. It's a very good pickup. It's a very solid pickup in the meta right now. You have, you know, the best of both worlds with physical and magical damage on Mirana, which is pretty nice, and definitely something you want against the Pugna. But I also like very much that Team Empire sort of you know, from the last draft, I pointed out that they lacked a lot of sort of control in team fights, and they were pretty much relying on a single hero. Now they have a little bit more control with the Disruptor, with the Pugna. So I very much like this approach, but in fact, a much more sort of, I guess it's more of a traditional approach. You know, you have the Bane and then you go for the safe Bane Mirana combo. That's just some sort of like very safe sort of like combo that you can run either in lane or in the mid game. This is something we've seen from Vega, of course. Very effective, even though it's sort of like an old combo, it's just very, very effective in the game still. So just singling out a target, being able to, you know, immediately burst him down with the arrow and then the Starfall, of course, is a very strong here. And Bane already counters pretty much a lot of these heroes already. You know, it's a very strong pick against the Weaver, of course, because you do have that long range shooting script if you have it. So that's pretty strong. But of course, I guess in a sense, you know, Weaver is going to pick up the lanes here. So dealing with that Bane is not going to be that big of an issue, but I suspect that, you know, with Effect still having 2 picks, there's going to be a lot more crowd control. They definitely need more control here, some AoE control as well. If they wanted to go for the Void, I honestly think it would really be really strong in this game, together with the Mirana.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, because that's the first thing that came to mind with that Weaver pick right there. Like you said, on paper, Bane should be a pretty good hero against the Weaver, even Doom with this Doom effect, but once Weaver gets to Lincolns, that all changes. That'll make him a very slippery hero and very difficult to stop. So yeah, getting some of that AoE control, as you mentioned, Faceless Void comes to mind. Earthshaker being banned, so couldn't go that direction even if they wanted to. You figure some other potential off lane or even a 3-position hero, or excuse me, 4-position heroes, depending on how they want to run the Doom, of course, to maybe help deal with that as well. A Magnus perhaps comes to mind. It's all in on the RP idea, but could potentially be a thought of theirs as well. So we'll see what they come up with right here. But the 4th pick for Effect, it's down to 10 seconds of reserve time, so they're gonna have to choose quickly.
Yeah, they're really putting a lot of time into this spot. It's not easy by any means. Like you pointed out, there are technically a bunch of heroes that you can pick, but a lot of them get countered by that single Disruptor pick. Even Puck gets countered by Disruptor, and it's very difficult to find a hero that provides you with sufficient crowd control that also obviously has high mobility, but that doesn't right out get cancelled or countered by the Disruptor. And there are pretty much isn't a hero left, and I think Puck is one of the better choices. You know, you can't play around. You have so much mobility that as a Disruptor, it can be difficult to really control you. So that's a really strong pick here. There's also additional burst damage, which is nice. The silence is actually really strong in this game. So I love this Puck pick, but again, I can understand why Effect have taken pretty much all of their reserve time, because this is not an easy pick to have.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Yeah, it's likely an offline Puck and a Mirana build. What they could do, although I don't hope they would, is, you know, Mirana as a 4-position roaming together with Bane, and then have the Doom as the offlane and Puck mid. There's technically a possibility, and it would be a sort of like a very aggressive early game, sort of like duo, you know, the Bane Mirana. But I think that's very much, or it's too dependent on those games to be successful. So I think it would be a bad choice. And well, that's the CIS pick for sure, Gyrocopter. Pretty much one of the most CIS carries that you could think of. It's not a bad pick here, I don't think, because he has a lot of physical damage. He can team fight with his team, which is very important because they have a pretty much mid-game aggressive lineup with, you know, Puck, Bane, Pod, Doom. So I love this, but at the same time, I think it's a bit vulnerable here as well, with the Weaver, with the Enchantress, and even with the Pugna to a degree. So we'll see how this works out, but I love seeing Gyrocopter. It's been a while since, you know, there was a time when Gyrocopter was the go-to carry for anybody. He's sort of fallen out of favor, and he's slowly creeping up here and there, but I love seeing him.
Legion Commander!
Choose your hero.
They're swapping it around, I think. Yeah. There's no way you want to run the Weaver mid in this scenario. Weaver mid is not necessarily bad. I've seen it in high-level pubs as well. But, you know, Pagna mid just makes more sense. You want the room control for sure, and Chappie just, on a Weaver just needs... I mean, you could run the Weaver mid, but then you need a certain item build. You probably need to go for the runes as well. So I think just having the Weaver safe lane makes more sense. And with this, I think pretty much the lanes as we expected, I want to say. With a Pog off lane, with a Morana mid, and the 4th position.
Yeah.
Doom.
One thing I did notice about that draft again, and I believe it's the same thing the first game, Necrophos making it all the way through, and that's happened a couple of times in this event here. Necrophos
it's funny because the meta, if you were to not balance or to not patch the patch, if you didn't bring any updates, the meta would change by itself. That just always is always what has happened. Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree that Necrophos is pretty much one of the strongest heroes in this patch, maybe even too strong. But yeah, as you pointed out, there's no Necrophos pick in this game, and even if it is just for this series, it is definitely something I wouldn't be surprised to see as a trend going forward. A lot of players, a lot of teams, and not even because anything changed, it's just because, you know, or not anything balance-wise changes, it's just because teams start playing the game differently after a while.
Start picking some heroes that are maybe, you know, a little harder
30 seconds
on, at least in theory, kind of counters to him. You know, specifically this game, something like the Doom comes to mind. You know, that's always an option because of the Doom effect. You throw that on Necrophos, and all of a sudden, he's just a walking, you know, ranged creep to an extent. I mean, it can be difficult to kill, depending on the farm, of course, but you get the point there. It's definitely understandable, yeah, where maybe we do see a hero like that. I don't want to say he's phased out, but it's there's been some coincidences here.
The battle begins.
This series and a couple of recent ones, at least in this event. Talking about the heroes we do have now, VG.R is going to start with the block here in the middle lane for Morana, but it will be Morana, of course, matched up against the Pugna here. Wait. So Chappie is on Pugna in the end. Okay, well, so FN will be playing Weaver, but they're going to be playing safely.
They definitely want the Pugna mid. So no matter who's going to play it, they definitely want the Pugna mid. But yeah, both. I mean, we've seen this sort of like role swap in a sense a couple of times, depending on the heroes, of course, because some of these players feel comfortable on a variety of other players, other heroes, for example. Chappie's Meepo comes to mind. So whenever he plays Meepo, it's not all the time, but most of the time, it's going to be mid. So both of them feel very comfortable playing this lane, and it's sort of become a trend in the scene that, you know, carry and mid players can be interchangeable depending on the heroes.
What do we think about the Legion Commander final pick, by the way? Didn't really talk too much about that, but LC, the final pick for Empire right here, ending up in the off lane, of course. As, what is this about? VG.R just kind of walks right up. Is he going to die for this? Oh my gosh. He got so greedy. He literally walked right up. He was going to eat troll creep, but Poshka did a fantastic job of netting him first, and it's like, no. I mean, even if you do eat it, you're going to take a lot of damage in return, and we saw the eventual first blood coming out. Oh boy, that's an awkward start. Anyways, back to the LC pick.
The LC pick, I think, is just very strong against the Bane, against the Morana, you know, against those hard disabled, being able to purge it off. It's actually pretty strong. And I think in the mid game, especially as well, you know, being able to sort of, for example, initiate onto the puck. It's going to be really important in ensuring that kill, and go other speed. So Ghostik might fall here, and he does. Is there going to be a trade? Oh, he sleeps the wrong target.
Yeah.
Not sure that would have mattered anyway. But Poshka, I'm sure, was ready to just take off the sleep of himself. But another kill, and another kill might happen mid.
Chappie, he's on the run. He's definitely in trouble though. The Decrepify saves him a little bit, and the heal is enough to keep him alive in the long run. So he stays alive, and then the bottom lane, that's where that kill happened. As FN took out Mag down here. Somehow, okay, he did have support, yeah no, Disruptor is in the area. I was going to say a solo kill would be crazy. Weaver there. But, well, we got plenty of action this game already. 3-1 hero kill start. All three lanes, really. But Mag is back and picking up more farm top lane. Speaking of that action, Miposhka, just like the previous game, continuing to be active. The Satyr Hadouken, aka the Shockwave, coming out and dealing more damage to the Bane. But just keeping them busy on this Enchantress.
Yeah, a lot of pressure pretty much on both sides. On pretty much every lane as well, like we pointed out. It's not easy for Mag to stand in this lane. against the Disruptor and a Weaver. Weaver just is able to harass Mac quite a little bit, and then of course Disruptor with his control spell to make it very difficult for Puck to even escape as well. But now that Puck has the magic wand, or well, soon the boots and the magic wand, that's gonna make it a little bit easier for him to sustain the lane. Yeah, this top lane is very interesting, and this is why you usually ban, or why teams usually ban Miposhka's Enchantress. Miposhka is able to create so much space around the map, or for a lane specifically, and as an Enchantress, it's really difficult to kill the Enchantress with 3 supports. Especially with the supports that affect half. They are unable to really zone out the Enchantress. Look at him, they're just watching him farm their camp. They can't really do anything against it. They can harass him for sure, but they're never going to be able to kill him. Not without the help of Gyrocopter or the Mirana.
Yeah, and it's really a 1 versus 2 in that case, so he's definitely accomplishing more out of it. On the Enchantress side, top lane though, LC's in trouble. That Brain Sap, he pops a press the attack over the turn kill. For some counter attacks, he's going to be nightmared up. And another Brain Sap happening in 5 seconds. Won't even need it. The shockwave coming out from King.R from the satyr that he ate.
On mid lane, Chappie almost goes down as well.
Jeez.
Very close. Very close.
Cannot finish it off though. He picks up the Arcane Rune. And he'll head right back into the middle lane. No bottle just yet. And Mirana's winning that matchup, 20-14 now against a 15-3 Pugna. So a lot of denies there even on Mirana's side. Really having good control of this middle lane. Maybe Enchantress should be focusing more attention on the middle lane this time.
Yeah, perhaps. I do think it was important to give the Legion Commander a little bit of space early on, or to get her a little bit of farming experience early on by zoning out the effect supports. But yeah, I do agree with you that Enchantress should probably divert her attention to the mid lane, and that's what she's doing. Though she has been scouted out by this one Dire Ward, and AlphaNinja will not be caught out of position here. Or will he? He still walks uphill for some reason.
As he walks right into it, but I don't think he's dying here. He'll arrow the creep.
He should.
Whew. If Enchantress slowed her, I mean, that could have been close.
Dire's middle
I don't know what AlphaNinja was trying to do. He was trying to go to the shrine, of course. You know, worst case scenario or best case, or yeah, worst case scenario, he still gets that creep, and he did. But still, if Miposhka has one more creep there, that could have been a kill.
Absolutely. Will enchant another Centaur though up at the top lane. Once again, Doom rotates. Seems like that's Doom's job, is focus on Miposhka and devour the creep that he picks up. He's going to go for that right here. And should be able to pick it. Yep, unless he gets stomped and maybe turn killed. He's going to eat the creep though. Puts on the Scorched Earth and trying to live right now. Elsewhere a kill happens. He throws out that Centaur stomp that he just took over. The final attack from Enchantress. Can he find him in the woods? Yes, he can. Gets the kill, but now Caustic going too far. The homing missile will finish him off, and Miposhka has to keep running. So that we're going to run him down, and Miposhka will keep the distance. Going to kill Elsewhere. That was the bottom lane again going down.
This is a phase boost Enchantress. 6 minutes into the game, 4th highest in that one. It was actually 3rd highest in that one just a while ago as well. This is absolutely insane. Miposhka is just very annoying to deal with. Yeah, sure, maybe he cannot help the mid lane as much as they want him to or they need him to, but this is still very annoying. And if he gets his courier kill, in fact, yeah, he does.
Dire's courier has been killed.
He even avoids the arrow as well. He should survive this with, yep, this
God.
for sure he does.
Where are you going?
Pops the heals, and now Alpha9 has to be careful. His sleep is down, they know this, but Doom's coming in. And he does have that Centaur stomp. So, gonna scare them enough to back off. But yeah, great pressure in the middle lane. You mentioned the courier code. Nothing was on it, right? Yeah, nothing on the courier.
But it already delivered this bottle, the bottle, so unfortunately for Empire, or fortunately for Effect rather, they do get that. But still, this is not great for Effect whatsoever. They're getting pressured in the safe lane. Sure, the Sidoi Gyrocopter still forms better than the Legion Commander, but in comparison to the Weaver, right? The Weaver is just out-farming pretty much everybody, I guess, except for AlphaNinja. And they're killing the Puck as well, so Effect is pretty much not really winning a lane aside from mid. They're only winning mid, and then they're definitely losing bottom, and they're sort of like drawing top because they should be winning against the Legion Commander, but Miposhka is just making it very difficult for them to win that lane. So Empire, I would argue, yeah. If you look at the net worth advantage, they already had 2k in net worth almost without the tower taken. That is insane.
It was the same thing last game in the sense of Alpha9. She was kind of the shining star for Effect. Last game on Lita. This game on Mirana. They're gonna need him to be active here sooner than later.
Oh, the Bane's getting caught out of position.
Set up kills. Bane is gonna try to run. Should be fine for now. Well, call down's coming out in response. Gostic trying to get close enough. Doesn't have his duel yet. Still running after him. Rock barrage from Gyrocopter, and now Enchantress has to be careful getting turned on. Not going to be enough damage though. The heal comes in. Oh, Gostic, he's going pretty deep. There's more support running in. Mirana, in fact, included. And now Legion Commander is going to get caught between a rock and a hard place, and they also got Miposhka. So great rotation from F9.
That's the big kill that they wanted. A bit greedy from them to try and go for that Bane. Unfortunately for them, the ward actually didn't scout out the Gyrocopter. I think if they had seen the Gyrocopter, they would have disengaged earlier. But that way, he was able to surprise them with his ultimate and then being able to turn it around as well. And of course, the rotation from Alpha Ninja sealed the deal. A good rotation as well with the DD, and that's just something a Pugna can't do. Even if a Pugna has a DD, what's Pugna really going to do in a rotation? So this is pretty good for them. But still, Empire's still in a really good position overall.
You see Weaver here cleaning out a massive stack with the assistance of Disruptor, so FN's farm really starts to shoot up, and he's got a plenty of early build. He actually went the full power treads. This is, it sounds weird almost being surprised by that, but whenever I see Weavers get boots, let alone full power treads, it's just I'm almost taken back because we're so used to the no boots build plenty of times.
There's I think it makes a lot of sense in this game. The stats are pretty nice, you know, to farm with and to harass, and if needed, he can also be more active in mid-game fights. I don't know. I think there's merits to both builds, you know, to either not building the boots at all or only building brown boots or having the treads. I think in this game it sort of makes sense because, again, the attack speed is definitely necessary to help out in fights and to accelerate the farm as well.
Yeah, if you're expecting more action early on in the game with the way this game's going, definitely so, then perhaps that's where it makes the most sense. Nice lockdown on the Bane right here, by the way, and it's going to be the first duel victory for Gostic between Vanskor and Miposhka assisting. No chance really for Bane to get out of that one, so good catch there.
This is a very important point. Unfortunately for Effect, I believe Bane was heading out there to plant a ward, and he was unable to, so now if you look at the map for Effect, they basically don't have any vision across the river. So they're pretty much playing in the dark. Yeah, they're smoking up now with Alpha Ninja and RZ, but they're having to smoke into the dark pretty much. So I'm sure... Well, no, it's just difficult to gank a Weaver without any vision as well, right? You don't really see the Weaver just now. And you don't see the supports either. Yeah, you saw them top earlier, and you still see the Miposhka top, but where's the Disruptor? That's actually a really important question. And see how much time they're wasting effectively with the smoke, because they don't see anybody on the map.
And they do not have any detection either if they were to go for that Weaver. Top lane, we have a big skirmish coming out. Meanwhile, Sadoi's going to barely get the kill on the LC, but at what cost now for him as in comes FN. Running with the Sakuchi, takes out the Gyrocopter right there. Going to finish off the tower as well, and Puck decided not to go with the illustrious orb, definitely for good reason, but it might not matter in the long run. Mag, a couple more auto attacks, and FN, a beautiful rotation on his part, ends up assisting in a couple, getting one right there, gets the tower kill. And now Chappie bottom lane, he's going to be arrowed, but they don't have enough damage, man. Yeah, you got to really fall back if you're Effect right here. That was pretty clear you were not going to be able to burst down a Pugna.
Well, this is just Effect sort of like trailing behind and always being a step behind Empire, or Empire rather being a step ahead. Well, bottom lane, they're going to try regardless.
Gonna go again. This time he was started off with about half life, and that will actually be enough in the end. He had Doom even rotating over just in case. Not necessary there though, so the second time's a charm.
This is definitely a very important pickup for them. But again, the Potten and the Bane wasted a lot of time trying to top lane. Looks like they're gonna get the Gyrocopter again.
Disruptor, he takes the homing missile. He's gonna have to run here now as King.R wants immediate revenge. Has that Doom if he wants to maybe just use it for a kill, but he can't even find him. And FN keeping them distracted as well. In fact, who's that rotating over? That would be LC. He has a duel ready to go. They're definitely going in right here. King.R's in trouble. He's going to be dueled up, and that's going to be another duel victory for the Legion Commander in the long run. So chasing a little bit too much ends up backfiring there.
This goes back to the lack of vision. They have one ward, and that's in the enemy jungle. They spot the Enchantress, but that's it. They just don't see the supports. They don't see the rotations from Empire. They have no idea where Empire is, where they're sort of like playing around, or where they're rotating towards, and it's really difficult to respond to that if you don't really know where they are. The Bane has to support the Mirana down here because the Mirana otherwise couldn't farm, And then the Doom
Radiant's
as a defensive like, doesn't work as a defensive support. Even if he had been there for the Jericho, what does he do outside of, well, I'm just gonna do somebody? So this is very difficult for Effect to play right now. They definitely need to get vision on the map ASAP, but it's so difficult really to get out. You can see Bane or the way that Arzik is moving, it's difficult for him to actually find space on the map to place wards, even if he had some. He doesn't even have wards on him. And now they dedicated 2 wards to the bottom lane, which, yeah, it secures the tower, but like those wards are going to become semi-useless after they get this tower as well.
VG.R, he gets glimpsed back, however, he's a little bit too far. Here comes that terrain cope, big fighting happening once again. FN throws out the storm, hits multiple heroes. Mag, he's chasing in the backlines. Doom is up on LC, by the way, preventing a duel. The live drain will finish off Doom, the hero himself. And now Chappie, though, he's caught in that call down. Puts on to Crepify, looking to turn right here onto the gyrocopter. The arrow does hit Pugna, though. In comes with a Star Storm, so big timing from FN right there. But they're not going to be able to take him at Poshka, and FN is just cleaning up. He indeed is unstoppable. A double kill for him. A lot of exchanging back and forth going on, but no doubt you got to favor Empire at the end of that fight.
For sure, for sure. Although I think if you look at the gold change and experience change, it's somewhat even just because Effect is so far behind, so any kill they get is sort of more valuable than any kill they give away. But it's still very favorable for Empire, the fact that they survive obviously on the Weaver and they survive even on the Poshka. Both of them would have been very high target or high value targets to get for Effect.
Take us.
Looks like Effect are trying to do something with the Moonlight Shadow. I like this. They do have the vision on here, so this is the area they want to fight in, and indeed they get the disruptive kill.
This is a big chance on FN. The Fiend's gripped. If they get this, huge bounty time lapse, he could not use it. The lockdown was long enough. Man, that was going to be so close to actually escaping. But they manage it. That's a huge bounty kill for Sidoi, actually, on the gyrocopter of everyone to get it.
Yeah, he got 800.
Best.
He got, well, 600 gold out of this kill, 800 gold in total for his entire team. So these are really, really good pickups. And this is them making use of those wards. Like I highlighted how those wards were gonna almost basically be useless after they take the tower, but of course they still were very valuable in that engagement.
We're gonna lose our Zeke meanwhile, but yeah, vision as always is gonna be a strong tool, and making use of it here. Very important kill coming out. So now Weaver, time to resurrect. He's back up now, though. Has Perseverance. He is very close to that Lincoln's already. Main early one at that Gostic. He's remaining run down. There's a tier 1 tower here, though. Still, you got to be careful. Rest of the attack coming out. Static Storm, Kinetic Field combo. Locking out Gyrocopter. Not really the best response, though. Maposhka, he is running in. Impetus attacks are dealing plenty. Now Chappie, the Nether Blast is going to miss. He'll put on the W, though, and it's going to be enough damage that a Crepify flanked there for a second. Anyways, they get the kill onto Gyrocopter.
Guys, I have no idea what Effect plan was there. Like they were posturing as if they were trying to like fight mid, but they weren't in position to respond on like Mag and the Bane as well. So that was a really awkward position for them to be in. I think they maybe got a little bit overconfident of how the past couple of minutes have been going, and because they had that ward there, so they were like, well, we have the information here, but this is still fighting between a tier 1 tower and a shrine, so there's a lot of access points for Empire to get into that fight and take on Effect, and yeah, they lose both the Gyrocopter and a tower because of it. So these are kind of mistakes and movements that Effect cannot afford to have happen because they're the team that are behind, right? So if they do want to go for something, they have to commit to it as 5, or at least commit to themselves in a position where they can feel 100% safe, and that certainly isn't between a tier 1 tower and a shrine.
And here we haven't brought too much attention to just yet, and probably for good reason, but Puck, he's trying his darnest to recover here, and considering the starting of this game and being in the off lane, it's the Blink Dagger is going to be all right here as far as the timing goes. I feel like 17 minutes in, he almost has it. And with the Soul Ring, so going to definitely need that, though. The Dream Coil locked in, especially once that Lincoln's is picked up on Weaver, which again, he just about has. All he needs is the recipe. And then he'll be good to go. Is going to be very effective from Effect here. Go figure.
It definitely will be, and I definitely think this is something that Effect is working towards, and which is why I think even more so that engagement earlier was still questionable. Oh, mid lane, they do have a sentry just in range as well.
They doom him up, press the attack coming out. They're going to glimpse, trying everything you can with the Static Storm and everything else, but Weaver, it's just going to be too much damage, so big kill for Effect once again. And they also catch LC, so That's really key because, again, we just talked about the Lincoln Sphere almost finished. It's going to be delayed a little bit longer now. More room for effect. Try to recover here. Middle lane, they're still going. Empire wants to fight this, though. They're going to bring back in Gyrocopter. Life Drain is going to be canceled pretty quickly. Got slept there. Now comes a Life Drain, though, and Gyrocopter is finished off. So, never mind. Was able to get it off. Doom, ooh, TP's out.
Even though they give away that kill on the Gyrocopter, I still think, you know, that kill on the Weaver and the Legion, of course, were really, really important for them. This was a very favorable trade for them in the long run. This is a much better way of approaching these kind of ganks. They committed S4. They were very close to one another. They were able to immediately respond. Sure, they should have all retreated immediately, but still, getting those heroes, like you said, delaying the Lincolns is very important here in this game. And it buys them a little bit more time, it gets them a little bit more space and map control as well. As you can see, they have a couple of deep wards, and that one ward mid hasn't even been detected yet, so that one is paying dividends already. So, in fact, I think getting themselves in a good position, they definitely need more items still, but once they have the blink on the puck, and now they do, I wouldn't be surprised if they smoked up again, try to force a fight, try to force a pick-off on somebody, because with blink silence, they can pretty much get anybody on Empire's side.
Pugna showing off his farm. Bots, Villa Discord, 8th lens picked up. He has the Ags now queued up. Almost 1,000 gold more saved up once again, so he's doing very well. 9,100 net worth overall. Gyrocopter, he's going to be going for the BKB next on him. And then there's Marana, who's the second highest in the game, tops on her team. And there's the Mantis style now finished for Marana. So nice progress being made. Duel at the top lane, though. That's a kill on a puck. Blink Dagger from Legion Commander with the assistance of Enchantress. More than enough damage to get that kill. And Weaver does have the Lincoln Sphere now. So now it's going to be a game of how does Effect get around this Lincoln Sphere. How many times are they going to be able to kill Weaver, if any, moving forward here? Yeah, and is the big item.
If we look past, back on a couple of those kills that they have gotten on FN, or I guess those 2 kills in retrospect, I think if you had Lincoln back then, might not even have died, because the initiation was very straightforward. You nightmare him and then you initiate into like Fiend Scoop or something bigger, and that's just not going to be there if he has the Lincoln. So this is going to be definitely very difficult, and they'll have to coordinate both the Bane and the Doom. So going forward, this is definitely going to be something that they have to look out for. And FN, I think, with this alone, he can play a little bit more aggressively in those team fights as well. And
Radiant
I don't know, it's just not going to be easy for them, but they do still have the puck, which is great. It's a great crowd control, especially if he goes for an Aghanim's later on, much later on. But we're still very far away from that, and Chappie might have to be the second pusher out of the Empire.
Well, Chappie, they're going. Doom is active. The sleep on LZ in the backlands, very good sleep right there. Static Storm is not going to be enough. Help save Chappie, of course, but maybe set up some turn kills, if anything. LC, he's going in. He'll duel up the Gyrocopter. RZ going to come in for the saving with a Nightmare. It's not going to matter, but LC goes down. Gyrocopter gets credit for the kill. That's the winner for him. And Vanscore is also going to fall. What timing from Appenines right there to come in on Marana. Obviously, Puck also assisting, but that was a huge turn for Effect. And now they're going to push Tier 2 bottom lane on top of this.
I've criticized Effect for fighting without vision, so I have to do this into Empire. I think they felt overconfident because they got a 3-man or 2-man Static Storm, Static Stealth combo, and they felt, well, if we get them, we can immediately turn them. But they fought in an area where they had no vision whatsoever. They could never really know whether or not support was coming in. So Marana was just able to come in there at the end there with a burst damage on top of the Legion Commanders. So just a very, I think, bad decision from him to take that fight. Maybe a little bit overzealous. And smart decision from FN to immediately just time-lapse out of there and just get out of there, because otherwise he could have been in a very compromising position as well.
And again, now Gyrocopter plus 14 permanent damage currently. Due to that victory, the BKB picked up on him now. Full 10 seconds, ready to go for Sidoi. So this seems like this is a spike moment right now for Effect. They got the BKB. I mean, Diffusal sure will be nice on Marana, but even just with the Mantis style alone, you have the blink on Puck, of course. It's definitely a time for the next like 10 minutes or so, we'll say, where Effect really can start making some plays here and actually take control.
Especially now with the blink on Doom as well, they have that mobility, the ability to basically get to that Weaver, for example, or get to anybody else really. It's just about finding those openings as well, finding those kills, because I think if you're Empire, what you should do right now is just try and take fights together, or potentially just do what they're doing now, group up. Because in this group, if they group up, yeah, sure, they have the Gyrocopter to sort of like deal with these pushes in a sense, but it's also very difficult for them to engage on multiple targets at once because their abilities, of course, are single target, right? So if they jump in, if they blink into this 5-man push, for example, they would have to not only coordinate properly to actually get rid of the Lincolns, but at the same time they have to do with all these other heroes, what they probably can't do with all these other heroes, so... Empire just got 2 towers pretty much for free, I think? Looks to be that way anyway, because Effect still hesitant to really initiate into this. Can't blame them for that, because it's very difficult to go into this.
Oh, there got the Moonlight Shadows to help with that. Who's Doom gonna Doom up? Oh, we get Static Storm and not caught inside a Kinetic Village. Put down the BKB course pop from Tower Copter. They pick up Puck though. Pretty damn quickly. Gossick on the run. He got a victory out of that. You see Sidoi though still sitting his ground. The Rock Brush Black Cannon finally gets going to Disruptor. They Doom up Pugna off to the side. They're gonna try to run him down. FN, he finally comes in. And looking to maybe pick off Bane in the back lines. They pick off Pugna though. Down goes Bane. So a lot of trades happening right here. But oh, that's a huge Hurricane Pike. Those impetus attacks from Aposhka doing so much damage. And numbers-wise, no doubt Empire winning that 3-2. Very chaotic fight. A lot of different separate mini-fights happening.
Yeah, I love the decision-making from Empire though. The way they approached this fight. So what they did was they immediately focused the Puck. Puck was immediately dead. And then what they did was basically sacrificing both Pugna and the Disruptor. Because they knew they couldn't really save them, but what they could do is just, when the focus, or when Effect focuses them so much, they can take on the backlines, and that's why they were able to get the Bane and the Doom at the end there as well. So this was a pretty good fight for Empire, and again, I think it goes to show that it's very difficult for Effect to find like a really strong initiation onto this lineup, just because, you know, Empire as a group, they're very strong together, and there's a lot of single target focus on Effect side, and this might just be that destroyed.
Oh yeah. And it's easily a kill on him. That's a 4-kill streak stopper. Meanwhile, FN, he finds more. The sentry's put down, but he's got a lot of backup coming, so he's going to feel comfortable committing to this Vanscore. Static Storm is now up. Glimpse maybe? No, they cannot catch our Zeke. Oh, Zeke, what about running back in? You see, time-lapse is going to be used by FN there, and Enchantress gets nightmared.
Vaposhka tried to give Vanscore the vision for a Glimpse, but unfortunately Glimpse wasn't in range for that. Yeah, the Diffusal Blade on Mirana makes it it's just very annoying to deal with, really. Obviously it's very important against the Decrepify, but the Mana Burning as well, it's just very strong against this lineup. What, 3 int heroes, and 2 of them are cores, so they rely on their mana, right?
Oh, Netherward, speaking of mana, also something to be concerned about for Effect. You see zapping a couple times right there. It's going to be wearing off in about 5 seconds. Poshka going in, finds Bane. Reaction though with a Dream Coil. King.R, he's running right after Chappie. He has a Lincoln's effect on him though, and now comes the tool on Charcopter once again. The BKB is not going to save him through too much physical damage from Poshka. Impetus attacks are almost going to kill our Zeke. Managed to barely stay alive though. They popped the Shrine at the last second. However, still only the 1 death on Gyrocopter in this fight, but FN goes up to finish tier 3. Oh, auto attack for death. There we go. And his last assisting Puck, just trying to delay. Waiting ripped and blinks away with the illusory orb. Vanscore though, he catches him, but doesn't have the Static Storm. So that will be the melee racks though on top of the range, and Empire can fall back, feeling accomplished here.
Again, it's so difficult to initiate if you're Effect. They're trying, they're really trying, but Empire's almost playing with them at this point. They're basically luring them back in, and see, they're gonna get King.R here as well. They have to careful action, Effect side, but they don't get anybody else, because Duel is up again.
Yeah, we saw what happened last game. It just happened to be like one pick after the other that eventually led to the game actually finishing right there. So not going to happen in this case, but they do lose a Doom, which felt unnecessary ultimately to kind of top it all off and on top of the rack. So you have the biggest lead now, 8,000 net worth lead, but more importantly, the set of racks down at the bottom lane. A lot of reset now coming out for Empire with more firepower here.
But yeah, just to quickly get back to how Empire approached the fight. What they did was they basically never really went high ground, right? They never really gave Empire or Effect the chance to fight on a favorable turf. If anything, they always lured Effect out of their own base. They lured the Gyrocopter out of their own base, and they made sure that they were able to fight on very favorable terms, making sure they could single out Effect's heroes, if anything. And Miposhka sort of acted as some sort of like the turn and frontline tank in a way. You know, he was always posturing himself up very aggressively, and it made it really difficult for Effect to really engage and help the Gyrocopter as well. And thus he was singled out by like a dual win, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, because Effects are the ones who have like a lot of like that single target focus, right? With the Fiend Script, with the Doom, they're usually the ones that want to do that. They want to be able to single out the target, burst them down, and immediately go to the next target. But Empire is still like picking them apart, and from here on out, it's just going to be more difficult with these items coming out.
Scanning.
Aghanim's now on Chappie. It's going to make it really difficult to burst down anybody because he's going to be able to like support pretty much anyone he wants to. And even the casual buckler on Disruptor is actually really, really important because that armor makes a difference against Jarkov down in Potten.
I just love seeing items like that, man. It's one of those, yes, it helps that they're definitely getting further ahead, but the casual buckler, it's actually a pretty strong, oh, FN, what a play right there to dodge the air after the time lapse. It's not going to matter, though. He still melts away, so Effect manages to find a kill on a Weaver, and now they're going to go for Roshan, which they're probably going to get. I mean, if there's a comeback mechanic in the game right now for Effect, it's no doubt something like this. You pick Weaver with no buyback, you transition into a Roshan, and they're doing exactly that. Chappie's going to come in, so it's as if they want to fight this still. This seems risky, though. Double damage on Mirana, even. Oh, the big static storm of Vanscore. It catches one. Doom is in trouble. The duel in the background. Starcopter again caught by it. And another winner for LC. So much for being risky. Doom is barely alive on the outside. Matt going back in. No Dream Coil just yet. Arrow's just going to fly on through. Appenine going to man fight against Maposhka. Split up the man shots. Killed off immediately by the overwhelming Onzo. Press the attack. Put on Maposhka. Amping those auto attacks, especially with the impetus. They counterward meanwhile. And they're delaying Roshan, if anything. 15 more seconds, Weaver will be back up. So it's not going to be a Roshan steal for Effect here.
Well, yeah, if anything, it's going to be Empire taking this Roshan now once Weaver comes back. And it's kind of crazy that Empire is able to take these fights, even being down a man, pretty much. But this is just, I think, Effect also not really playing well. I think they like focused so much on the Disruptor that they were split apart, and then Empire was able, well, you can take the Disruptor kill, we're just gonna kill your backline. Yeah. And then suddenly, they immediately kill the Gyrocopter.
He's gonna be lifted up by the Yules. Might not get the, oh, he still gets it. They have enough damage right there. Buyback from Doom. They know how important of a fight this is. Here we go. Caldown's gonna hit multiple heroes on top of the Dream Coil. They already took out the LC. They take out Maposhka as well on the Enchantress. FN, that homing missile, on top of him, but he's gonna be too far away to matter. Manscore, however, also will fall here, so a buyback from Doom. But now it's Effect's turn once again. We just have the swinging gate man back and forth, back and forth. And now they actually are going to kill Roshan and get the Aegis picked up. So Effect, they're showing they're not afraid to fight, and they are going to win this one.
To be fair, and not to take anything away from Effect, but at the same time, Empire gave them a very favorable fight. They fought in front of the shrine. Very like a choke point kind of scenario where they, oh, what an arrow!
That arrow actually hit him. He ran back into it. I can't blame him, but man, what an arrow by Appenine right there. And another kill. But you're right. I mean, it's just forcing that in the first place as much as they did with the LC jumping in on that high ground. It did seem unnecessary.
I do think it was unnecessary, and they basically gave Empire or Effect pretty much the best fight they could have asked for. You know, they were grouped up. There was like a 4-man coil, I think, or 3-man coil, and then of course the call down on top of it. Was the perfect fight for Effect. But I think if you're Empire, you should still feel somewhat safe. You're still ahead, of course. You take a lane of racks, and yeah, sure, you lose a tower and the Roshan, but at the same time, you know, FN immediately preventing any further pushes. So there's nothing more that Empire or Effect can really get out of this, especially because the other lanes are pushed out as well, of course. So if you're Empire, you just wait out the Aegis ideally, and then you go from there again. And you just cannot feel discouraged just because of that. You have to play to the strengths of your lineup, and their lineup is still pretty damn strong.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think Empire should feel like, oh, we're throwing this game away by any means just yet, but definitely giving openings to Effect to, if anything, stay alive here at this game number 2. Empire with that 1-0 series lead so far, remember. But you do have some decent items coming out for the Radiant side to talk about. Enchantress, that Ags is almost finished, and unlike a lot of heroes, in this case it's a very good damage amp for Enchantress, how it affects the impetus, of course, so that's going to be a nice tool from her, and definitely got to respect her damage output. And then you have Weaver, the Maelstrom, and BKB is going to come along, so that's going to be a nice answer to whenever he does happen to get jumped, maybe the Dream Coil lockdown, all of a sudden the BKB will prevent that from actually being too useful.
Yeah, especially since the way that FN has been playing right now, or the past couple of fights is oftentimes he uses Lincoln Sphere on other targets or on teammates in fact, and doesn't even use it for himself that much because it's more valuable in say the LC, so that if she does get jumped, she can't get Nightmare, she can't get Fiend Script or even Doomed or whatever. And having that BKB on top just provides him with much more survivability. Like I said, you know, against Puck it's really important to not get silenced, to not get Dream Coiled, and it just makes him very annoying to deal with in those fights because there's practically nothing to really keep him in place. You know, BKB Lincoln's on top, it's very difficult to really lock down, and it has to be really coordinated. And you know, Fiend Script, yeah, it technically goes through BKB, but there's so many ways of countering it that it's going to be really difficult to really. Actually, no. Now that I think about it, there's actually, I guess, only the duel and the silence from the disruptor to really deal with the Fiend Script. That could potentially be something, you know, to sort of like change the outcome of a fight. But at the same time, Bane is very squishy, so killing him during Fiend Script isn't necessarily difficult either.
Yeah, there is also the Enchantress creeps, whatever she happens to have, of course, a couple of different ways to help stop that in the fight. But yeah, this is a game where Bane and Fiend's Grip is pretty powerful, and you do have the Glimmer Cape on him as well. So the Fiend's Grip on paper should potentially be actually pretty strong this game here from him, considering how it usually seems like it is, especially so. Pugna, his own Lincolns is coming, and I feel like that's almost just like a backup Lincolns to even throw on somebody else as well. Also for himself, of course, but a lot of ways you can use both of these Lincoln Spheres that they will have this game to throw on certain heroes, whichever feels necessary. These fights, BKB on LC, full 10 seconds. Good to go for him. Marana has his own BKB though, and 3,600 gold saved up actually. Still has that Aegis, not going to be for much longer though.
I think one issue going forward for Empire is that they're investing a lot of items into, or a lot of gold into items. Top lane, I think that's mine. That Puck,
no? And no Lincolns just yet, and that Doom comes out and he's dead.
One issue going forward for Empire that I see is that they're investing a lot of items into defensive items. You know, they have what they're going to have 2 Lincolns, they're going to have 2 BKBs. Whereas if you look at Effect side, yeah, they also have a BKB in the Gyrocopter, but at the same time there's and on the Marana as well, right? But they have just naturally a lot more physical damage.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
No, Bane should survive.
Take us.
But if, for example, the Doom ever picks up an AC, right? If he ever picks up an AC, it's going to be very difficult for Empire to deal a lot of physical damage because they're a Legion commander.
Radiant's top tower.
I guess she has the dual damage. That's basically it.
Look at our Zeke right here. He's locking down a couple, buying time for teammates to come in. Tools put up from the commander on a Doom, but that might be a victory for Doom. It is a winner for Doom right there, as it responses too much. Mipochka got the kill on Doom in the end, but again, still a minor victory if anything for Effect. They also lose Bane. They got Disruptor. Pugna still remaining dead for another 20 seconds. Enchantress, that Trinko is going to keep her in place, and that's also going to be killing her too. A triple kill for Sidoi. That was Bane right there. He nightmared the LC, he Fiend's Grip Disruptor, and basically said, I'm going to set up this fight. I may die because of this, but everyone just started mass TPing in, and we saw the long result right there after the Pugna initial pick. So another victory for Effect, and they really are hanging in this game very well here.
So 2 misplays from FN. First of all, he could have taken off the Nightmare of the LC. LC could have used the overwhelming press the attack on the Bane, on the Disruptor, and then they're fine. Then they're totally fine. They duel the Bane, probably get a duel win. Yeah, they probably still die to the rotational attack, but still, right? That was the first misplay. The second misplay was not attacking the Doom. That was a beautiful static storm from the Disruptor on top of everybody, and he attacked the Bane, who was getting the kill on the Disruptor anyway. So, I mean, yeah, Doom, Disruptor, and Legion Commander probably still die in both scenarios, but at least they get the dual win and potentially the kill on the Doom. This way they got neither, and I think this is definitely on FN. He should have, you know, either one of those decisions would have been better than what he did end up doing. So this is just a fact, banking on mistakes.
Oh, LC, he's going in. Doom, again, going to be the target, and this time it will be more than enough damage. Oh, maybe not that Nightmare. Have Bane interaction with the Nightmare on duels, pretty strong. He still got the winner in the end. They also pick off Bane himself, actually, but BKB's going off multiple heroes. Chappie, he's trying to stay alive. The life drain going to be canceled initially, and it will not be enough, Leo, to actually keep him alive. FN, time lapse away, going back in. Sidoi is going to be caught because of that. The dust comes out to expose them through the moonlight shadows. So 3 for 1 in this fight. And Mag and Apple Ninja 9, however you want to say it, he gets back into the base. So definitely a victory for Empire, and that's got to feel good for them with the way this game was starting to turn a little bit.
For sure, and they might even be able to force out a buyback from Jarkov. I'm not sure they can because they're very low in general and they can't really push in just yet. But actually no, it doesn't seem like they will be able to. A bit unfortunate for them. Ideally, after such a team fight, you want to convert it into an objective. Yeah, they're gonna get the shrine, but that doesn't really mean too much in terms of map control.
Bottom shrine
so this is
has fallen.
Not, I guess. I mean, it's still great for them. Like you said, you know, they definitely need this as a sort of like confidence booster and like sort of like swinging the momentum around and getting a bit of net worth as well on top of it. And getting the Jarkov off the map is really important because in that fight, he showed that he's actually really strong. And if they have a head-on fight, Jarkov versus Weaver, Weaver might actually lose that. Like they only got the Jarkov because he was sort of left alone. He had to retreat and he got slowed, and it was a 2-on-1 more than anything. But this Jarkov hurts a lot. So this is definitely something they have to look out for going forward.
You do see FN getting a double damage rune, but also... Oh, they're going to find Doom, by the way. Is LC nearby? He is not. So no victory for him, but oh, as I say that, there he is! He pops out of nowhere, it seems like. And he finds Puck, so... That's true.
Bit of a questionable decision from Mag to just pass by them. Like, this is a Puck. He could have easily just stayed in the tree line, blinked further, or away or something. But what he did was just like walk past it. Like, alright, you killed the Doom, I'm just gonna go home. But of course they wouldn't let him. And with that, they have a wave that's pushing in top as well. So potentially they can force a buyback here. You definitely want to force a buyback here. You don't want to just get those kills and not convert it into anything.
Well, this is what I was going to talk about, too. Level 25 just hit on Weaver, so that means he is insanely fast now when he uses that Shikuchi, and that is a very, very good tool for him. He's going to be locked down by the Nightmare right here. Camera's going funky. Apologize. Anyways, homing missile on him. He still has time-lapse, though, and he's just going to Shikuchi away, so that homing missile will slowly fly in and eventually be killed. They deny the top tower, but really that doesn't matter. The point is, it is dead. Good for Empire. Now that exposes the shrines. Again, they're doing this without an Aegis, but they're still feeling confident. Puck dead for another 10 seconds. Gem also just in case. FN time lapses one direction, gets away from Doom. Doom goes in, he gets the Doom off. They need to protect him. Press the attack, gonna be a start. He's still taking plenty of damage though. He gets hit by the homing missile, and they're gonna lose Weaver in the long run, so he's dead now. And now it's the Tire's team to fight them as Akira Glimpse pulling somebody back. Magostic, another homing missile being channeled. He's a little bit too far away, though, up here. They also find the Kill and Disruptor, and they also find Chappie. Oh, boy, that's a slap in my forehead right now. Empire. They went a little bit too much there. They did not necessarily need to push. Again, doing it without the Aegis made that clear at the very beginning of that. Should have been happy with the Tier 3.
Yeah, once the Puck was back, they should have just retreated, really. Giving away 3 kills, and as a result, also, of course, the Roshan and the Aegis. Yeah, they get a lot of damage onto those Raxes, but that doesn't really mean a lot against the lineup like effects. They have the Mirana, they have the Jarkov to deal with these waves, and even if they had gotten those Raxes, I'm not sure it would have been worth it as well. So this is definitely an issue for Empire. If we look at the network and experience drop, definitely going down. Experience actually in favor of effect again. Net worth, it's what, a 5,000 lead for Empire? That doesn't really mean a lot.
It's only a 1,000. If you look at the top there, that's the actual updated right now.
If you look at the top there, it's just 1,000 pretty much. But if you know, it's team net worth in comparison, that's just 5,000 advantage for Empire. So it doesn't really mean too much. And in fact, I might even get Tier 3 and potentially Rax because they're not going to buy back on 20 seconds. Even if they had buyback, they wouldn't buy back. So.
Oh my god, those impetus. If it wasn't for that cheese, he is absolutely dead, but they're going still, actually. Disruptor's going to be found. Mirana, though, is going to end up falling. That will be the Aegis use. Chappie's back in, and so is FN. So now this is scary for Effect. Are they overstepping their boundaries? Maybe not. A little bit of help from Puck. Throwing out the Dream Coil keeps them away. And the TPs are successful for Effect. So they do lose the Aegis. They get Tier 3, though. Going to open up those shrines, of course. We'll see if they eventually get to doing those, but still a lot of work to be done. This is definitely still a case where it's anyone's game, especially after a fight like that. But
once more, I'm not entirely sure if this was a worthy trade. Aegis for a Tier 3 tower. I almost think they could have gotten that Tier 3 without committing the Aegis for it, and the cheese on top. Like you said, you know, they even have to use the cheese as well. So a little bit iffy for Effect, but still getting that tier 3 is something at least, and as you mentioned, they can take those shrines later on as well. So that's definitely something. It's going to make it easier as well to take or contest Roshan if they get rid of that shrine. So for a fact, these couple of minutes definitely have been good, but they probably need something more. Wouldn't be surprised if they maybe try to smoke up soon once their ultimates are back up, and then try and do something. But as I say, that looks like Empire are the ones to look to force the fight there.
Yeah, the no Aegis is down. But again, back to what I said before they were doing this, they do not have the Aegis themselves, and the jump, especially Doom, is clearly a threat right here. He can take off the Lincolns by himself with the Purge. And if he gets that Doom up on either Chappie or FN, it's a big step. There we go. Chappie's going to be doomed up. He's going to die here right off the bat, so they lose their pug. They need to retreat. LC's also locked down. They're still kind of fighting, though. Fansker's still hanging around. FN's realizing, okay, this is a lost cause. He just gets the hell on out of here. Maposhka going to try to Hurricane Pike away, but that's not going to get him too far. And that's another kill. This Doom is clearly proven to be a fantastic pick for effect. Every
FN
single
is doing the right
fight.
thing, trying to push out the mid wave here. With the gem, he might even be able to get a kill on RZ here. But I almost want to say they had vision over this. I would have to look at the play, but I'm sure somebody pinged it out as well that, hey guys, they literally just used Potem's ultimate. And then FN still walked up there. I'm not sure what happened there. Or, sorry, Chappie still walked up there, so maybe they didn't see it after all. Either way, very good for effect here in Empire. Now, pretty much, like the net worth, like the team net worth is pretty much drawing even now.
I know this game could definitely still go either way, if anything, but I personally would almost start leaning towards effect now. I mean, I know they got the net worth lead, so it's not even crazy to suggest that, but they have no answer to this. I think it's the biggest thing. It seems like he can get his ult on either Chappie or FN every single fight, and they can't do anything about it. I mean, what's the play around, right? Like, they don't have this beefy frontliner that can just stand in the front and at least tank the tower, or kind of be that one that's, you know, taking the attention, if anything. Right now, it's really the Pugna, but that's, of course, you don't want to be doing that. As we saw the last fight, if he's up there, he gets doomed up quickly, and then he just dies shortly after, essentially doing nothing in the fight. So you're losing out on a lot of net worth if that's the case. It just seems like to me the Empire is almost losing out on what they can truly do in these fights.
To me, the main issue for Empire right now is that they're the ones that are getting initiated upon. If they're the ones that are getting if they're the ones getting initiated upon, they usually lose out because, like you said, if they get doomed, they pretty much have to forfeit the fight or have to forfeit the hero that gets doomed. Because especially if it's the Pugna, there's basically no way of saving that hero. Usually, what they could do if somebody does doom, you know, they support him with the life drain, or I guess the opposite of the life drain, by, you know, sustaining the target and potentially even, you know, press the attack. They have ways of like countering the doom, but they're never in a position to do so because they're always getting caught by surprise. And I think Empire just has to be the team to initiate, really. They have to find a kill with a duel, because with a duel they can definitely burst somebody down and take them out of the fight, so this is definitely something you have to do. But it's really difficult at this stage of the game because effect, the way they're posturing themselves, they're always going to be in a position where it's difficult to initiate, right? It's difficult to just jump into the base, jump high ground and try and find a kill, because you don't really have the vision to support it either. So I think they almost have to wait for the Aegis, because that's definitely a component that they didn't earlier push to put it out. If they had it, it would have been a completely different fight. And then score. Oh! A second. One more second and he gets stumped there.
Not even. 0.25 seconds. Not only some of the arrow, but Dreamquill's also, I mean, they had several ways to stop him, but he just happened to be behind the tree. Again, it would have just been a disruptor, but still. So close. And this is going to be an item that will help that cause, to be fair. Disruptor, it's where if he's able to get that axe, it can definitely change the game. Powerful tool for these fights. Oh, FN's running. He gets doomed up. He's Fiend's Grip. On FN, no doubt. At least he has a buyback, but very used. Again, Weaver just simply getting caught. A hero that's usually so difficult to catch. Key times in these fights. Vansier's going to be run down. He's dead for 50 seconds now. And they're also going to get Enchantress. Call down on him, press the attack. Oh, the nice force out of the ledge, but they're going to chase into the base. Maybe not the best call. BKB's activated. There's a buyback on FN. And they are ready to fight now. So that BKB on Alpha Ninja. Shadow, running as a team. Unfortunately for Empire, they don't have any US detection anymore. They already popped the dust earlier and they lost the gem, of course, earlier on FN.
If they had in with detection there, I'm sure they blink in, duel somebody, and try and force a fight there. Because Effect pretty much used all their abilities already. But yeah, just to come back to that Weaver movement there, he pinged out that they smoked up. He pinged out he knew, but he played it too cocky. He was like, alright, I'm gonna dispel the smoke. There was no point. Because even if he gets away there, what smoke? But you can also discourage the smoke by just like drawing back, retreating, and then letting them waste the time while you split the map, because you know where they are. But that was just a little bit cocky, a little bit arrogant, I think. And it cost him his life, it cost him his buyback as well. And now they need the Aegis more so than ever. But unfortunately for them, because it's such a long Aegis respawn, or, I mean, it's not even long respawn, you know, just Roshan respawn. All the abilities on the Effect side are going to be up again. So the next fight, Effect will have every ability up, and as we've seen now in the past couple of fights, Empire cannot take this head on. They have to sort of like pick them apart.
Command echelon.
God, S-Blade finished on Gyrocopter. That's a really interesting build from him. Obviously the Satanic Burst, but now the S-Blade even picked up. So a lot of burst has also the possibility of making himself immune if necessary, of course. It's just funny seeing that, though. The Butterfly on Mirana, meanwhile, and the level 2 Diffusal Blade is also going to be ready and queued up, ready to go. But again, is Empire really thinking about making a play here without Roshan? It seems like by now they would have learned their lesson, that they should probably wait for that. Not that it would be a guarantee-free Roshan by any means, but
I think
there's no way that they could push here.
I think Empire are just waiting for a mistake on Effect's part. They postured themselves up high ground. They were waiting for somebody to maybe walk up there and like make a mistake. Really, I don't think Empire are in a position whatsoever to force high ground to siege whatsoever. Not without the Aegis. And I think they were just waiting for a pickoff, and with that pickoff, they can immediately transition it into Roshan. But because it didn't get it,
Dire's top barracks
I'm not even
are
sure they
under
can
attack.
contest Roshan, to be honest. I think they have to, but I'm not sure they are in a position to do so. I think Effect, the way they've been playing, you know, they're posturing themselves very nicely. They're always together. They're never really apart or split, and that just makes it really difficult for Empire to initiate.
Also noticing some level 25s. We've already. This was a very fast Roshan spawn, by the way. He spawned like immediately after he could have spawned.
Yeah.
So they are going to start poking in, but yeah. I mean, they don't know what's happening just yet. They're going in, but it's a very quick Roshan kill.
With the DD, no
Double damage helping with that. There's the call down. FN picks up the Aegis, and now Sidoi realizing it was a trap all along. Impetus attacks. Not going to be enough. He gets away. Nice Glimmer Cape there. At the last second, LC still going in. Takes off the Lincolns. Can't get close enough, though. He's going to be Nightmared out. Meanwhile, over here, they lose Doom. That's big. Obviously, he's a key target to kill if you're this Radiant side. Now, he has a buyback. But this is an opening now for Empire, once again. They have an Aegis. Sure. Exactly. Get the buyback used, if anything.
Unfortunately for them, the wave was pushed in really far back. They're going to get there with, like, what, 40 seconds perhaps left on the buyback. And I think Effect can hold this for 40 seconds, especially since Alpha Ninja is pushing at the top wave, making sure they don't get pushed in there. And if anything, Empire might even lose the tier 2. I would say that Doom just buys off the
He's just not even going to wait. Just like, alright, then maybe a fight, let's go.
They just killed the creep that Alpha Ninja was going to TP on. This is huge.
Okay. And actually, the Glimpse, okay, BKB going to be activated to prevent that. Arzeek, he's going to be locked down by the duel. That's, well, it's not really happening due to Nightmare, but eventually goes off and the winner comes out. Gyrocopter, S-Blades on himself. That life drain, though, well, that was actually the Decrepify, I guess. But point is, Gyrocopter, he is dying to this, and he has a buyback, but he does go down. They picked up the start in the back line. The Doom goes up on a Pugna, but FN falls. Remember, he had the Aegis, however. Doesn't have to worry about Doom, though, Chappie. Falling back, that Doom DPS is so much. FN's still in trouble. The auto attack damage is so much. From Mirana especially, they do kill Chappie. FN, another Shikuchi. Can they hunt him down? The arrow's coming out. It's not going to connect, though. And FN should be able to actually escape, though.
Alpha Ninja TP to the troops on top. He might find him.
Arrows in 5 seconds.
Right, he should be getting out of there.
Now he's good.
So,
you look at the base. Tier 4 goes down, by the way.
That was a huge misplay at Alpha Ninja's part. I think there might have been a misclick. He might have not looked where he was going to TP to, but because he has DOTs, he clicked onto the creep. I think he wanted to TP onto the base or the racks, and they immediately spawned. The creep spawned, and then he accidentally clicked on the creep. Either way, he TP onto the creep, that creep dies, and Empire immediately knows. He literally was just pushing top. We have to go in now. so he takes a lot of time to get back in there, and Empire in the meantime clean up house. They may not have gotten racks, but they've gotten them down pretty significantly, and they of course get those kills. They force a buyback of the gyrocopter as well. Still, I think for a fact they almost salvaged that fight, almost get the kill into the Weaver, get the Aegis at least, so that's pretty huge.
Radiant's middle barracks are under
He's
attack.
lining up right here. They're going to go on F9 to take off the Lincolns. There's a duel up. The Manchester not going to save him, and Doom can't do a damn thing. He doesn't even have his ultimate ready to go. It's going to be a winner for LC once again, and she's dead for 95 seconds. As you mentioned, they've already bought back on both Gyrocopter and Doom himself. They're very likely going to need to do it on Mirana now. As this chase continues, FN, he finds our Zeker. The Static Storm going off. Gossic's going to assist, so they kill Bane. Sonoy pops a BKB. It's only 5 seconds, though, not the longest. They also got Puck in that Static Storm. Gossic made a follow right here. Press the attack, the Blade Mail. Return damage, Sonoy. He'll be fine for now from the Impetus attacks, due to being immune currently. But Sonoy, and one more. Oh, he gets it off. And no, it's not going to be enough for the Moonlight Shadows.
He still dies.
Net life drain.
Life drain.
Life drain caught him, and he's no buyback. 120 seconds once again. FO9, he bought back, remember, too. And Empire, they're cleaning up. They kill Doom for a dieback. If FO9 goes down, this is 100% over. This is their last stand. The clip's back. That is over. GG, well played. It's called it. Empire will take this game and the series.
Oh, God.
Just like
that. That was one of the worst throws I've seen in a couple. No, look, it's not even that they had like a huge advantage that they threw away, but it was just so stupid. Empire effect was.
We get lost, we can get high. They got me gone, I feel alive. Anywhere, anyway, I will love you. We rule the world, just you and I. Just let me down, we walk the line. But now nothing's gone wrong, I'll take a shot for you. Give me your love, give me clouds, never let you go. Give me your love, give me clouds, never let you go. Give me your love. Give me your love. Never let you go. We get lost, we can get high. Because me gone, I feel alive. Anywhere, anyway, I will love you. We rule the world, just you and I. Just let me down, we walk the line. But now nothing's gone wrong, I'll take a shot for you. Give me your love, give me clouds, never let you go. Give me your love, give me clouds, never let you go. Give me your love. Give me your love. Give me your love.
like a star in the sky. I'm okay. I wanna take a breath. I'm falling in love. I'm falling in love. I wanna hold your hand. Don't leave me alone. Don't leave me alone. You get me high. Oh yeah. Be by my side, baby. Only you can save me. Only you can save me. How to touch of love, my mind like a bottle of wine. I'm insane. I come alive, you drive me wild when I kiss you at night. I'm okay. I wanna take a breath. I'm falling in love. I'm falling in love. Falling in love. I wanna hold your hand. Don't leave me alone. Don't leave me alone. You get me high. Oh yeah. Be by my side, baby. Only you can save me. Only you can save You get me high. Oh yeah. Be by my side, baby. Only you can save me. Only you can save Welcome for the summer. When I'm lying, boy, I got your body on my mind. You make my heart beat faster. I'll be a sweet disaster. Deep in my bones, I want your love, love, love. Take off your clothes, clothes, clothes. I want your love, love, love. You drink my rose, rose, rose. I want your love. Sana, 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 sana. want your love.
Trying to forget you, I'm all alone in a ghost town. There's a beautiful madness inside my soul, and I can't stop thinking of you, walking on the lonely avenue. Are you, are you, are you my love so wild? Please give me a sign. My love so wild, please give me, baby. My love so wild, please give me a sign. My love so wild, please give me a sign. Please give me a sign. Fading in the dark, all the lights go down. I'm feeling high and drunk. Close my eyes and I can't stop thinking of you, walking on the lonely avenue. Are you, are you, are you my love so wild? Please give me a sign. My love so wild, please give me, baby. My love so wild, please give me a sign. My love so wild, please give me a sign. Hey babe, you gon' be my lover, honey. I don't need another one, can you? Come a little closer someday. We'll sleep until the covers. Drive my car, it's game time. I'm like you do, I'm like you do. Make me high, I can't deny. I'm in love with you, I'm in love with you. I'm in love with you. I'm take 2000, I'm take 2000.
in time. How me like you do, how me like you do. Make me high, I can't deny. I'm in love with you, I'm in love with you. I'm in love with you. I'm deep, 2002. I'm deep, 2000. I'm deep,
Hey now, I must be dreaming when I'm looking at you. Hey now, you make me feel so good every time you move, move, move.
We get lost, we can get high. Because me gone, I feel alive. Anywhere, anyway, I will love you. We rule the world, just you and I. Just let me down, we walk the line. When all the things go wrong, I'll take a shot for you. Give me your love, give me clouds, never let you go. Give me your love, give me clouds.
Give me your love. Give me your love. Give me your love. Give me your love. Never let you go. I see the light inside your eyes. You make me feel like I'm awake. I don't know why you make me shine like a star in the sky. I'm okay. I wanna take a breath. I'm falling in love. I'm falling in love. I wanna hold your hand. Don't leave me alone. Don't leave me alone. You get me high. Oh yeah. You're by my side, baby. Only you can save me. Only you can save me. I how to touch you blow my mind like a bottle of wine. I'm insane. I come alive, you drive me wild when I kiss you at night. I'm okay. I wanna take a breath. I'm falling in love. I'm falling in love. Falling in love. I wanna hold your hand. Don't leave me alone. Don't leave me alone. You get me high. Oh yeah. You're by my side, baby. Only you can save me. Only you can save me. You get me high. Oh yeah. You're by my side, baby. Only you can save me. Only you can save me. We'll go for the summer when I'm like, boy,
You make my heart beat faster. I'll be a sweet disaster. Deep in my bones, I want your love, love, love. Take off your clothes, clothes, clothes. I want your love, love, love. You drink my rose, rose, rose. I want your love.
There's a beautiful madness inside my soul, and I can't stop thinking of you, walking on the lonely avenue. Are you, are you, are you my love so wild? Please give me a sign. My love so wild, please give me, baby. My love so wild, please give me a sign. My love so wild, please give me a sign.
You gon' be my lover, honey. I don't need another one, can you? Come a little closer someday. We'll sleep until the cover. Drive my car. Yeah.
Dire team ban. Hellraiser's turn to pick. Dire team pick.
Lich.
Dire team Hellraiser's turn.
Ancient apparition.
Venomancer.
Dire team ban.
Enigma.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to this best of 3 now coming at you. Game number 1. This is our second playoff matchup of the day. Again, the winner of this will move on to face Team Empire, currently waiting in the finals now as a result of their 2-0 victory over Effect in the first round matchup right there. So looking forward to seeing how this one plays out. This one, of course, being Hellraisers versus Kinguin. Best of 3. They've made it to this point. One more win will lead you to the land portion of the SkinCoin WCA. A loss here, you'll get the chance to play for a 3rd place match at least, later on today in fact. But of course, you want that land, you want the bigger portion of the prize pool that we give for these qualifiers even. So that's what's on the line here. I'm Breaky CPK, and gonna be joined by a new co-caster now. Gonna be joined by Tralf. Tralf, how's it going, man?
Hey man, it's going good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. We got the 1 series in the books there, so ended up being a quicker 2-0, but I have a feeling this one should be a little bit closer. These two teams perhaps a little more evenly matched. Hellraiser's Kinguin, so looking forward to a fun series though.
Yeah, I've looked up Team Kinguin, and they seem to be on a bit of a spree and streak lately, and I think they've had Hellraiser's number in their last matchup, if I'm not mistaken. So Hellraiser's looking to get it back this time. They start off with a Lich. They ended off here in the first phase with an Enigma, so they have double deny, at least in the laning phase, which is really annoying to deal with. So yeah, there's that. But on the other side, you also got AA and Veno, which is also an extremely potent ult combination. Ulting with Veno to get them all low and just have that huge dot on them, and then also ulting on top of that with an Ancient Apparition. And everyone's HP just drains like crazy. So some strong things on both sides to start things off. Urshaker, this is looking like a very NA draft if I've ever seen one for Team Kinguin.
And perhaps some influence for them, but yeah, no, you're right. I mean, Kinguin's definitely been a team that they've even qualified for a minor here out of the European region. So one that's been a strong team for a while here, formerly known as Alternate Attacks last year. That rings a bell for anyone tuning in. But again, these 5 players have been playing together for a while and looking pretty good. But yeah, a lot of wombo combos, I like to say, all that AoE. Honestly, like a Faceless Void is really standing out to me now too for Team Kinguin as a possibility here.
Sure, it's really good against Enigma. Like it's hard to kind of navigate and maneuver your way around a Chrono. It can be done, but even more so, it's a pretty big AoE counter to that. I mean, you can't buy Lincolns, you can't buy BKB, so I'm on board with that. They pick up a Viper here in 4th position, but they could definitely still make room for that Faceless Void. Might be other options, of course, as we see the draft unfold. I do believe they have last pick. Yeah, they do. So you're gonna be able to see everything that Hellraisers picks before they last year. So Sand King here for Hellraisers. I always like Sand King if you pick up a Lich. I think I've said this before in a previous cast. But when you pick up Lich, you need to make sure that your other support has a hard stun, first of all, and is not immobile. Like, you can move around on Sand King. Lich is very immobile. He sits in his lane, whichever lane he chooses. Can maybe bounce around from lane if you need to help another lane that's really struggling, but typically you just want to sit in that lane, take advantage of the fact that you're getting way more experience and taking away the experience of the other hero. If you move around, it kind of takes away that whole idea. So Sand King supplements that immobility that you have from a Lich, and it also supplements the fact that you don't have a stun from a Lich. So I like Sand King. Another hero that kind of fits that bill is like a Tuskar. Earthshaker sometimes is picked, but it's not as consistent of a stun as Sand King. And by consistent, I mean like sometimes your well, there goes Alexa again. Is sometimes your Fisher stun can kind of screw you over. So Dude, I don't know. She has some weird trigger words. Like, I've been saying random things, and she's like, I don't know. Yeah.
Dire team ban.
Lycan.
Probably because they wanted to pick some kind of strong mid laner that doesn't have to that can maybe deal with Lich +1. So Viper, Puck is pretty good, Quap is pretty good. All those heroes were actually still unbanned, or they have some other kind of idea altogether. But my thinking is they wanted to make sure that if it is a Lich dual lane move, that they have a very strong mid lane, potentially deal with it. I don't know. Like I actually rarely see it double denied, but with mid lane having that extra creep, it could be there could be a case to do that in mid. If anything, I would use the double deny in the off lane, and then just really screw over the enemy safe lane. Like that would be pretty devastating to deal with. And then on top of that, if you were able to TP out and smoke up and block a camp and block the pole, like they would have such a hard time dealing with that constant deny that Enigma would pose. So if anything, I would say in the offlane, because in mid it's kind of like a wash. Like even if you, it's like I've said before, some mid players don't even like you to deny from mid because they play the lane in such that they will push out the lane and just so that kind of strategy doesn't go hand in hand with a deny, but it just really depends on personal preference or what mid hero you have. So we'll see. But if they did it, I would expect it to be in the offlane.
Nice. So they're mid player. A hero that's in general been very popular lately is that Mirana, and I know Kaiser's no different there, so maybe that's a thought that they could be going with for their final pick. And sure enough, it's going to be Queen of Pain actually instead. So they go Queen of Pain. Now Kinguin has that finish. Part of me was really expecting to just see that Faceless Void, man, but it is going to be the Lone Druid, their final pick, actually. Okay, so safe lane Lone Druid. They have Patos playing the Venomancer. He's their offlaner, of course. At least going to send him up there. Perhaps some dual offlane to start even, but quick finish. Final picks.
Yeah, I really like the start of Kinguin's draft, and with the finish. I thought the first three heroes were really strong. I think that the Lycan pick, in response to not only Viper, AA, it's such a good hero against those three heroes. They're very emotional. They have no stuns at all. Them with Necro 3s, pending if that is those, and they have absolutely no answer to it other than maybe spam our spells and hope the dots take them down. I'm not sold on the Lone Druid other than the fact that the root is very strong against Quap, but I feel like they were going to pick it regardless because they picked it so fast. So I could be wrong, but maybe they were just that quick, you know. Yeah. But they did pick it quite quickly.
Yeah, it seemed like one that they were definitely thinking about for a while. I mean, they still had, I want to say, like a good minute left.
Yeah, exactly.
On the extra time. So confident with it, and here we go. I go back to I mean, when it comes to not that you need to really follow up all this AoE that you really brought with those first three picks, but you know, something like that Faceless Void would have brought that just a little bit more on top of it when it came to the team fight here. But instead they get more kind of pick-off artists themselves with the Viper and the Lone Druid as far as more single target goes. And of course, you even get that mock on or excuse me, the Radiance on Lone Druid, and actually provides plenty of AoE himself. So, gonna be in the safe lane. You got Earthshaker, Ancient Apparition, and Venomancer all right now in the Radiant jungle to start. At the bottom side, they got the vision too to try to catch somebody over here, but
yeah,
he's playing it safe.
Yeah, and I wasn't checking to see if they actually saw the supports up top, because that ward is more towards the left side. It's not going to see up on top of the hill. Now, Milan is walking up here to potentially get... He's going to know right away that...
Begins.
The fact that the supports aren't contesting this room and who gets it... Yeah, Milan does get it. Is going to send a red flag to them. This is a very hard lane now for the Lycan. So this is good decision making by Kinguin to go aggro. They realize that the Lich... Lich likes to park in a dual lane, but that Lich is going to have to move if they want this Lycan to get farm. They're recognizing that they have Lich Sand King, and Sand King duo of the Lycan is just not strong at all, so they're going...
Alright, so they do spread out the denies right here. Lich goes for middle. You had Enigma denying the top lane. Get things going into the laning phase, but yeah, as you pointed out, 3-3, he is definitely setting up to have a very, very difficult time, so I'd expect some sort of rotation coming out sooner than later. Speaking of that middle lane, they're trying to rotate on a Viper, perhaps, but it's never an easy kill. Sand King also, ooh, the courier backs off. He's going to wait for it to deliver, perhaps.
That's a hard courier snipe to go for as a Sand King, even with boots. Oh, he might get it. He's got to hit it obviously twice. No, he's not going to get it.
Yeah,
it's really, really hard to do unless you're smoked and you're like standing right there on top of it. But anyway, this is kind of an interesting, very difficult lane to deal with if you're Viper, especially when you're level 2. Stun comes out actually from the Earthshaker. Nisha's going to be in a little bit of trouble. A couple auto attacks coming in, stun coming in from Milan. This will be a first blood. No deny there as Kakor tries to deny his buddy, but it will go towards the Sand King. So nice rotation there.
Yeah, Earthshaker, as you mentioned, stunning in the backlines. They did not see Sand King there, though. So Milan had been hiding enough to prevent them from getting that information, and clearly that's what really caught them off guard in the end, and a lot for that Viper kill. So, nice start for Hellraisers. 2-minute rune? Who's going to get this? It's Earthshaker versus Milan. Oh, Milan, actually, good job with the stun timing. And he picks up the Arcane Rune, so fun interaction there. Going back to Lycan, though. Lycan, he is a hero that could jungle potentially. I mean, obviously he's not going the Wolves build, so that would hurt that, but does he just have to really accept that this is just going to be a tough time down here?
Yeah, you're going to have to. And that's why I really like this decision to go aggro. You know that Lich wants to be parked mid or dual lane somewhere. And by the way, Viper is actually doing very well in terms of just CS and lane presence. He's dying right now. So despite him dying, he actually pops his Fairy Fire, he wants to live, but there's a blink through. Double stun from Milan. Unfortunately, the dagger was used on the other heroes, but it does look like Kakor is still going to fall. Going to try to deny himself to these Ancients. A couple auto attacks. He does get the deny. But regardless, you know, Viper is dying a lot, but he's pretty much on par in terms of CS with Kaiser. So, yeah, he's dying. It's a very hard lane, but he's not doing too poorly. It's really this Lycan down in the bottom lane that I'm very concerned for. He's got just really nothing. I mean, I guess he's getting levels, which is nice. He's actually level 3.5. So in that respect, he's doing good for himself. But to answer your question, like, he can't really jungle early on. It's just way too slow. And even if you do, the jungle creeps, of course, don't give as much as they used to. When we used to see lots of jungle Lycans, when the wolves were a bit stronger, and the jungle was a bit better, it was very viable, but it's just not that viable anymore.
So Queen of Pain definitely going to have to pick up on that slack there, not only getting the hero kills, but of course or in this case the assists, but doing pretty good on the CS. But yeah, with Viper doing all right considering the circumstances. You have, of course, top lane, an Exotic Deer playing the Lone Druid. He's doing kind of even with the Enigma up here. But that bottom lane, Patos, on the other hand, on the Venomancer, is going to be the high value ticket for the Dire side. So you see a 3-3 doing a little bit of a creep pull, but Elisa, he's like, nah, I'm going to prevent you from doing that, and pulls it right back into the lane. So, yeah, they're definitely paying attention to this middle lane quite a bit, trying to really keep Viper in check as much as possible, at the cost of Lycan, though. and his sacrifice. And I was also looking at his build. He mentioned, okay, so he hits level 4, so now he has 2-2 as well. But I noticed at level 3, he actually went the second point into Feral Impulse. Wondering if the Howl might have been just better value considering how this game's going here. But middle lane, Viper, more pressure. Milan's hunting down Kakor here, or Kasor, I don't know. I'm sure. I've been told it's pronounced different ways, but...
Yeah, I have no idea. So I'll go with whatever you're going with. But Viper, still doing pretty decent in terms of CS. Obviously he's under some pressure here. There is Sand King now running behind as they ping him out. There's a Fisher to perhaps block follow-up. Bop does get stunned. And, yeah, nice rotations and just sitting here and helping out his buddy. He is only level 1 on the Earthshaker at 5 minutes. That is a bit of a concern.
Yeah. Both sides have their concerns, most certainly. But Viper, he's now level 4, so he actually went the second point across skin. Ring of Achilles finish. So he is becoming a more difficult kill, as we kind of saw right there. So I think Hellraise just kind of missed out on that. It didn't really miss out on the window, because again, they killed him twice, but they can't do it as easily now as they were before. So maybe not putting as many resources into that idea. Instead going elsewhere, but for now, I mean, Lich is definitely just still camping in the middle lane, and Sand King continues to be in that area as he will head towards the top lane. But Lone Druid and Enigma, they've really had a 1 versus 1 up here. Who do you think this is going to favor more, as far as both of these having decent farm to start?
Well, it looks like Enigma was doing very well early on, of course with the denies, but it's starting to even out a bit as Lone Druid's pulling to the side, getting some extra neutral creeps, getting some Eidolons as well. And now that he has 5, he has to he can pressure the Enigma and threaten him with a kill because of the root. So as a result, you see Sand King walk up there, maybe help him a little bit. I'm actually kind of surprised that Venomancer went strictly for a wards build, because this is pushing into the tower naturally into Lycan, and Lycan's getting very good levels as a result, and he's not really getting like damaged. He has that really high regen, so he's pretty healthy. He's almost level 6 now, so I personally would have liked to see more points into the either the Gale or just his passive, and just control the lane and make sure that Lycan gets nothing. It's a much more effective build in my opinion against a melee hero. But he's going the more farm route, the more pushing route, but you know, as you can see right here, it's kind of allowing him to just freely get all his levels and even get some farm now.
Yeah, he was 2-0 for the longest time on creep scores, and now he's 18-0, as you mentioned, almost level 6 on top of that. So, I mean, really, it's not going that bad.
Venno is farming a lot more, don't get me wrong, but I mean, he's basically getting free levels here. And once he hits level 6, it doesn't really matter how much farm you have, you're still going to hit really, really hard. He's actually like 1 creep kill away from 6, and they go on initiated onto him right now. He could be dead. He does have a Howl, so he's going to get some HP, but oh man, look at that, 1 creep away from level 6. He actually gets it right before he dies. Had he just maybe auto-attacked a creep as he's getting galed and hit, and he could maybe live. But that's just some unfortunate timing there for 3-3.
I noticed too, though, he actually chose not to use his Howl. It's nighttime as well, level 2. He would have gotten, what is that? That would have been 100 life, that would have been 200 being nighttime. So I don't know if that would have kept him alive in the end, but it seemed like there was no reason not to. So yeah, he had a while there. But a little bit of panic, as you point out, just getting level 6. Maybe he was more focused on that, and ultimately dies in the end. So
everything I just said about the wards build now is it doesn't matter, because they killed him and took the tower.
Yeah.
If his only play right there is to, like you said, Howl and like just auto attack or range creep, or I don't know if a range creep was actually there, but he had to just kill a creep as fast as possible and get that 6. But it's really, really unfortunate timing for him.
Sexy Bamboo. He's running away right here from the Earthshaker. Going to be cut off by Viper, though. Viper strike is ready. Maybe getting denied. Nope, not even going to go for that. He tries to continue to run, and Nisha does get credit for the kill there. They're running at Nisha. Speaking of that, it's going to be a little bit too awkward of an angle, though. So that's not going to happen. Pop for some amp damage. Again, they can't really cut him off. Instead, they're going to go for a tower push. But you look at the top lane while this is happening right now. Exotic Deer has free push on the Lone Druid, especially with Enigma being dead currently. Back to the middle lane, they are going to engage somewhat. J4 blocked off, he goes down. Patchell's being here as well. Throughout that venomous scale, so they end up getting 1. Don't lose anything. Kinguin, a couple of pretty good kills, and it seems like things are coming online very well. You mentioned the bottom tower push, a couple of kills there. Kinguin looking good.
Yeah, they're totally winning this laning phase. Now, obviously, the CS for Viper is on as high as Quap. the CS for the Lone Druid is not as high as the Enigma, but they're basically winning all 3 lanes. I mean, having a Lich Quap mid and not getting, like, still allowing Viper to get all the CS is just not successful in my opinion. It's just a weird lane to begin with, right? Like Lich Quap. I think Quap just kind of does well on her own. You typically have to see Lich paired with heroes that really don't do well on their own, but offer a little bit more in terms of mid to late game. So as a result, you saw Lycan really get suffered in the bottom lane. They took the tower, I mean, at 8 minutes, so things going very, very well here for Team Kinguin. Obviously, once we get into the mid game, spells like Chain Frost and the Black Hole, of course, will come online, and he is going to go for a Midas, so going for that more mid to late game stage here for Sexy Bambo.
Yeah, initiation is going to be huge this game, as it tends to be a lot, but when it comes to team fighting, I mean, both sides have that really big ability to set something up, and whoever they can catch, of course, can determine how the fights go. So as early of a lead this is for Kinguin, definitely don't overthink it. Is the ultimate point right there. And speaking of that, Enigma, Midas is going to be delivered to him right now, so kind of keeping pace pretty well. The middle lane, Sandkey's on the wrong side of that fissure. So is Kaiju, though, and can, of course, blink if necessary. Hal was already used. Milan's going to take down the poison. Kaiju going for the turret kill. The Sonic Wave in the face of Ancient Apparition, and he's able to blink away before enough return damage happens onto him. In fact, Kesor here on the Earthshaker will just keep on running almost dead, and Anisha going back in, but the fissure just out of range. So a lot of back and forth there in the middle, but ends up being a 1-for-1 between the two. So Lone Druid, let's talk about him for a second. Midas on the bear here currently. What kind of Lone Druid game is this? Is this going to be the bear build, or you think the range is more value of this game?
I think because, first of all, he has the Midas up. It's usually whenever you go Midas, it is a melee form build and not a ranged build. You just don't really need to build the Midas. Oh, first hit root onto the Enigma. Just on cue. The Sexy Bogan goes down. And that's part of the reason maybe why bear build might be a little bit better. Because that root is so effective this game against the Enigma, against the Quap, even against the Lycan. So, yeah, Midas up, and you actually can see the Radiance queued up for him. So it is going to be the melee build.
Okay. That first hit root, frankly, I don't know if it was necessary. They were smoking around the backside.
It just feels bad, man, you know?
It does, yeah. It's intimidation, if anything. It's like, kidding me, this is how this game's going to go, so. Yeah, gets got, easy kill. He just got the Hand of Midas, at least he was able to use it. So coming off cooldown here. Not going to be too inefficient. Patos, though, what did he choose to go for? Hooded Defiance, as well as the Ring of Aquila. And he has something else coming out, even. It's going to be the Ogre Club on top of that. Oh, no, that's a medallion for him. The Ogre Club's for Nisha, actually, in the middle lane. But in the medallion as well, yeah, this Venomancer really is farmed early on. And he hasn't really rotated much. He was in the middle lane a little bit, but, I mean, this bottom tower's been dead for a while. Do you think it would be more value maybe to go mid and push, or jungle, or is it fine just pushing up the lane?
I like what he's doing. Just parking in the bottom lane, and then this is a threat now that HR always has to keep in the back of their mind, like, this bottom lane's always being pushed. We need to make sure we ward up our jungle, because if he has any help, we can't gank him. It's hard to gank him enough as it is with him being so tanky, but now if he has somebody behind him, so at least they have that one ward. But no, I think he's just totally fine pushing this lane. He can solo kill this next tower. Maybe if they start diving towers really, really hard, he has that TP available, but I think his job right now is to just sit here, pressure this lane, and then do it as long as you can. Yeah. And if it takes 4 heroes to kill you, then space created.
As they say, yeah. So Patos, he's continuing to do that, and by the time he starts putting damage on the tier 2 tower, you figure he's going to get some kind of response, but for now, keeping on going up at the top lane. Milan and Sand King, he's kind of hunching around, and they placed a pretty aggressive ward behind the tower right here, so they know Ancient Apparition's nearby. Yeah, we see no Kesor on Earthshaker's also there. Ooh, the Burrow Strike just out of range. Sexy Bambo still nearby as well, put those on a Malphus, but nothing's really going to connect too much. And they kind of just have to fall back, so a little bit awkward of an exchange right there. As Viper even just really pushing the middle lane. So Hellraiser's finding it a little difficult in terms of what they want to do right now.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Up and Sexy Bambo TP's out. I'm really surprised that gank even worked. They saw him TP up there. They had a ward behind the tower, and he just casually walks up and gales with the stun. And it's not like they didn't know Earthshaker was there. They just saw him. So, Yeah, they don't even have a tower they can push right there. So he actually, Patos, he TP's up top and looks like he's just going to walk towards mid, maybe throw some wards, take this tower, and then walk back bottom.
Yeah, I went away from the top lane just looking at the mid lane because I just figured that they were going to retreat and be fine. But it's
right.
I mean, they had that information, but for whatever reason, I don't know if they wanted a big black hole turn, maybe go for the big play. But
he was pretty much alone, so... And they saw him TP, and they actually countered the ward, too. That was behind the tower. They just countered it.
Oh.
So...
Well, they had.
But yeah, it looks like he is going to pressure. They do get the deny mid, so that's nice. But still, a lot of map control being lost here. All the towers are up here for Kinguin, and they have 3 on the side, or they have destroyed 3 towers, so much better position.
Radiance is queued up on the Lone Druid. You also see his level 11. He's so the level 10 talent, 250 health. So yeah, guarantees basically the idea that he is going that bear build. As Earthshaker's hiding up here, he's going to be found by the Sand King. 60 Bamboo running as well, but there's definitely turn potential here. Elisa, he's nearby. Also has Viper coming in. Earthshaker though, a little bit too much damage. Gonna really get over to the area. The Shapeshift 4 and 3/3 runs in with a Necronomicon level 1. Gonna run after Ancient Apparition. Nisha, Viper Strike is gonna be used on Milan. The Ice Blast coming out, but there's the Black Hole to pull in Viper and secure the kill onto him. So that's a 3-kill streak stopper in favor of Hellraisers, and it actually came together for Hellraisers there at the top lane.
Yeah.
That's gotta feel good.
That's just the aspect of Lycan being good against these heroes. Lycan was 4th picked into these heroes, and it's good against at least 3 of them. Earthshaker can be a little bit scary later on when he gets farmed, but this AA, this Veno, and this Viper, you can just run at them. They can't stun you or do anything or stop you from running at them with your Shapeshift, and that's exactly what we saw. He does have his Necro, so very, very nice rotation there from HR, put themselves back in the driver's seat.
Oh my gosh, middle lane, is an Ice Blast gonna hit? It's not gonna hit. If that hits, that's a kill on Queen of Pain. She actually might still die. They do take out Ancient Apparition, but yes, Queen of Pain does die to the poison. They went 3 heroes on to Venomancer to start that fight. The Epicenter can channel. It was a great execution, but and the Pactos ends up getting a 2nd kill on Milan. As I'm just talking about, I mean, that's Venomancer for you. It took so long to kill him. He used the Nova, he used the Gale, got the poison up, level 4 Poison Sting, and you saw them eventually tick down. So they got the kill, but really, really feels bad, man.
Yeah.
In there.
Well, that's just the Veno Viper combination, or not Viper, Veno Ancient Apparition combination. And he couldn't actually activate his ulti right away. I think he was stunned or something. But he wanted to just try to at least get it off. Nice try by him, but yeah, that combination is get even more potent when you get, you know, level 3 ulti there for Veno. Some more ult levels up onto the Ancient Apparition. And on top of that, when you get a Radiance in the mix, which he's almost got on the Lone Druid, burning people down in an AoE, that's just going to be annoying too, so.
Yeah, 4,000 gold saved up here for Exotic Deer. He just got the Sacred Relic, in fact. So now that Radiance ever so close for him to pick up. Lycan at least has a level 2 Necronomicon, and again, especially considering the start to this game 4-3-3, he did overall a pretty good job as far as having relevance here. He's down there in the network chart, but again, he's not really far behind the other heroes. In fact, Viper is also not really doing the greatest necessarily. Dragonlance into a Hurricane Pike is going to be his choice, at least in the early game, and then the Maelstrom will come out, and then that farm will pick up. At least that's the intention right there. But Venomancer does finish the full pipe now, so yeah, even more difficult to kill, let alone a great ability for the team. And then the Yule's even queued up, another 1,200 cold saved up. Lone Druid, though, takes over the top farm as the Radiance is now just about finished.
Oh, I like the Yule's pickup. You don't see this very often from Veno, but I do like it. It gives him some added movement speed that he really lacks. Almost no one will get plus 30 movement speed talent just because of how good the 30 experience is. So you're a very, very slow hero. Also just gives you the ability to cancel TPs, which he doesn't have naturally. Set up a Gale or anything like that. Just a versatile item, but you don't see it that often. It doesn't give you anything in the ways of tankiness, as do see. Looks like they maybe want to do something mid. They put a sentry down as they know he's invis. Backs away for the time being. They are pushing up top.
So close, but yeah, he is going to TP out, actually just back to the middle tier 1 tower. realizing that perhaps they did see him. So Patos, he's got quite the large Plagueord army up, though. That's going to beat down this creep wave. But yeah, that Yules, it's almost finished even. Again, the farm of this Venomancer continuing to be impressive. And now you do have the Radiance finished onto Lone Druid. At least it's being delivered out to him as we speak right here. So Enigma has had the blink for a while. He's going to go blink right into that BKB. So the idea of that threat of the black hole, let alone having a big black hole, is definitely just about there. And it's going to be a great game for it. Ancient Apparition. He gets gone on the Ice Blast in return. They're going to kill AA, it looks like. Oh, he does get denied, actually. Yeah, Nisha, credit for the deny right there. Shapeshift, 3-3's going in. That's a rough target to kill. Physical damage is nice against him, but he will be blocked off as the Poison Nova even affects Lycan. Did not want him chasing, though. So, they get the Ancient Apparition kill, at least, but Shapeshift going to use it to go back and farm here.
Yep. And Lone Druid walks bottom, throws his bear with the Radiance up top. So he's pushing out that lane, and then he wants to be with his team for this maybe bottom tower push, especially with the fact that Lycan doesn't have ulti. There is a black hole with a blink up onto Enigma, so in terms of hard stuns, there's really only one. And then when you get BKB up on a sexy Bembo, there's no way to stop this. So that should be a bit of a concern here for Team Kinguin. And maybe an opening point here for Team Hellraisers, as they have immunity with this BKB black hole, and it's going to come online relatively quickly with that Midas up onto him.
So yeah, just about to ask that, but I guess that answers the question that you like the decision to go right in a blink BKB here.
Yes, absolutely. There is a Savage Roar if it's kind of, if he ults in front of himself, but obviously the Earthshaker stun is like the main one. In fact, the only one. Maybe an Ancient Apparition Cold Feet if it's sitting there the whole time, but you basically used your entire ultimate from Enigma anyway at that point, so.
Yeah, once he has that, really got to be careful if you're Kinguin. I mean, already they're spreading out, though, of course. Right now, it's even a massive threat. Enigma jumps in. He's going to put the Malphite stun on the bear. This is Lone Druid with that bear build in the backline. Shapeshift onto Earthshaker. Necronomicon, those are just the minions at least. He throws out the Echo Slam as he's going down. But not really doing much damage to really anyone. In fact, Sonic Wave also takes on Ancient Apparition, so Kinguin just getting picked apart right here by a couple of heroes. And Kaiser's going to keep on running. He's going to distract them, if anything, and going to pull them all the way back, in fact. You also have Lycan is still back here, and he'll actually TP away, but Hellraiser is really good distraction on their part. Pick off a couple of the supporting cast, and they'll defend the Tier 3 bottom push this time.
Yep.
Does Kinguin maybe need to think about a Roshan before really trying to do this here, or they're going to keep going, it looks like?
Yeah, maybe. And this, I mean, they're trying to push this just because they know that the Lycan doesn't have ulti.
Okay.
But they do have to be a little bit careful. Does he have BKB yet onto Enigma? He's so very close, but if he waits long enough, it won't matter, because the spells will already be cast. There is no Echo Slam. Looks like they really at least want just... So he has a resummon if it does die. That is the problem when you do go the bear build, especially pushing in heroes like Enigma. It's just that bear is very susceptible to being killed in the high ground push. So he does resummon. At the very least, I think they just want this tower so they can get some shrines, but it does look like they give it up for now. This Quap is doing some shenanigans, pushing this bottom lane, cutting the wave so they have no wave bottom.
Smart play by Hellraisers right there in terms of defending. They did not overcommit. They did the best thing possible. Shapeshift. Wanted to run in right here. There's the catch from Sand King. They catch Viper. Remember, the Black Hole is also still ready to go. 3-3. Gonna chase. Hal's gonna be popped. Has the minions up. Here we come from the side. Sexy Bambo. Now can use a Black Hole. Just a Malphite, and the Midnight Pulse taking down Viper. More than enough damage with the Orchid Burn on top of that. So Hellraisers continues to chase, and it pays off as they take out Viper. Now, Hellraisers, I wonder if they're going to be thinking about Roshan here. Anything for a steal.
Yeah, this Lycan ulti is just countering pretty much all of Kinguin's team. Like whenever he uses that, they're just in full retreat mode. If anything, they just need to throw the bear onto him, the Savage Roar, and then try to reset that way. But they have to play around this Lycan ultis, and they have to also be fearful of the Enigma ulti. So we're hitting. It looks like HR's hitting their stride right now, and it's going to be a big point of contention now that Enigma has his BKB. So he is totally involved. Now there is, of course, I forgot. if he does position his ult in front of him, there is potential for a root to come out. If he can attack from behind, the ultimate is in front of him. So if he doesn't ult, he has to ult on top of himself basically, which does reduce the range just a little bit because you do want to hit as many heroes as possible in that black hole. So there is one thing he does have to worry about slightly. As there is an ult with an AA blast coming bottom, Kakor trying to get the kill on Kaiser, but it's not going to be enough, so they waste the ult. And he also feeds himself, unfortunately. So interesting plays. I mean, that ult is only level 1, and he kind of missed the creeps too, so very unfortunate there for Kinguin, but fortunate for HR, as now that gives them an opportunity to maybe look for a fight as they know the Echo Slam's off cooldown. Milan trying to run away, uses the Sandstorm. There is a sentry down, but so he will fall.
Yeah, at least something for Kinguin right there in terms of positive, but you're right. I saw that setup coming, but Kaiser with full life at the beginning of that. I don't know if he had Lich Armor necessarily at that time, but still, as we saw in hindsight there, even with the Ice Blast hitting, it did not matter. Kaiser was able to get away and had support close by to turn him. Now, in comes another Ice Blast. We'll connect right here, kind of push the bottom lane, and going to make it difficult for securing that tower kill at least. So, with Sand King dead for another 15 seconds, instead of Kinguin's going to be the one pushing and going towards the top. Venomancer does have that Yule's now finished. Mentioned the idea of that earlier Viper. His own Heaven's Halberd is going to be coming out right here, and that maybe is going to be their a little bit of an answer to the Lycan, who you've talked about as just having what seems to be free reign this game so far with what he's able to do. But Heaven's Halberd make a lot of sense to you on the Viper here.
I think it's fine. Yeah, it gives him some added evasion on top of just being able to stop him from attacking. The thing that's scary is that Lycan actually is... I mean, they got that tower push, which is nice, but before that, his farm was still really not that great. I mean, Necro 3 at 26 minutes is not impressive, but he's able to still do so much in fight. So it just goes to show you how good this pick was for Team HR. How when you can do a lot with very little farm, it just it puts that into perspective. So looks like they want to try to do something. He's scouting out with some wolves. Actually, it will fade there, so no Echo Slam for 30 seconds. They are smoked up. Blink in here from Sexy Bambo. Here we go.
Orchid applied, an easy kill. 30 more seconds. Echo Slam's going to be up in 20. So we'll be back up when he is up right here. But Hellraisers, once again, know they have an opening as a result of that kill and should be able to push the tier 2 bottom lane. If you're Kinguin, the likelihood that they're defending with Earthshaker dead, no Echo presence, pretty much not there. So this should definitely be the easy tower kill. And I don't think they're going to go further, though, if I had to guess. Well, the Venomancer's running in, and maybe with this timing, Shape should form from 3-3. They're going to try to catch him. They lift him up with the Yules. Bring him right back down. Hal's been popped, healing up. The Chain Frost also causing a lot of issue. In fact, each and every goes down. The Minion's also doing plenty of damage. Lich may end up falling for this, but he's playing quite the distraction for Lycan, who ends up TPing away now at the top lane. Meanwhile, Lone Druid's getting picked off. I was wondering where a couple of the others were, and that's exactly where they were. You got Enigma, Queen of Pain, and Sand King all coming together to drop Lone Druid, meanwhile, who's trying to do some split pushing. So they didn't get the tower kill, but overall, again, Hellraisers, a couple of solid kills for them. And more farm now for the Lycan and even that Queen of Pain here.
So that was kind of awkward. What happened was they put the cold feet onto the Lycan. He uses his shapeshift and starts to run away, which will naturally just get rid of the cold feet. But then right as the cold feet's about to kind of sort of proc, I mean, it never would have procced anyway, but the Venomancer then uses the Yules, but it didn't matter. It basically canceled the cold feet. So it was kind of a weird, awkward interaction right there. Didn't quite work out. If anything, you need to make sure you cast the Yules right after the cold feet, but he basically did it as it was fading.
Gets away, and Enigma, he's actually going to be able to TP out. This Viper was diving him of sorts, but didn't want to go too far. So Enigma, he's fine. The black hole presence, again, clearly an issue here for Kinguin. It goes back to that old saying, it's sometimes the fear of it is more dangerous than the actual use of the black hole right here, because especially now with that BKB, and yeah, you talk about the idea of the Entangle, but I'm sorry, it's like, that almost might as well not be, because not only is it just good luck position the bear in the first place to get that, but and then him having to use it in front of him, but then you have to have the RNG on top of that. So, Sand King, he's dead. All right, that's a quick kill.
And it is an Echo, but I think at this point in the game, you kind of take an Echo when you can. He's finding it very, very difficult to find actual good echo slams, and into an Enigma. So Bear is trying to push out the top lane. Now he actually resummons it. Oh, they get a nice stun onto Enigma. This could be a feed. Does pop the BKB. He does have the Shrine. Of course, AA ulti is onto him, so he can't heal up just yet. But they do get that BKB out of him, so maybe they can wait in the back with the Earthshaker Fisher, although he is low on mana. No Soul Ring or mana boots for him, so he's got to be careful. He does actually go for the 250 mana talent. It's a bit odd, but because he has no mana items, I guess he has to.
Yeah, that's an awkward spot for Kinguin, because no doubt they would love to capitalize now on that BKB use, but as you're pointing out, they really just can't. By the time they reset right here, BKB is going to have 30 more seconds before it's ready, but it'll definitely be back up if they really kind of go back to this bottom lane, which it looks like they are actually. They may try to still commit to this push, but by the time they're in here, Enigma's Black Hole, of course, is ready, and BKB now only 15 more seconds before that's online and ready to go as well. Shapeshift ready for Lycan. He does not have his own BKB, but Queen of Pain does, so proving to be a popular item for good reason this game. Here the Radiant side. But Kinguin trying again. BKB's ready. Here we go. Gonna be activated. The Black Hole gets off on a couple, including Viper and the Earthshaker. They're both gonna fall. The Sonic Wave even hits Venomancer in the backlines. Niche actually survives for now, but no, Kai's gonna run him down. He is disarmed though. He can't finish the top. Sonic, the Scream comes out to finally finish it, but it took a lot longer than maybe expected. They do lose Sand King and Lich in response. Pato's quite the tanky target, so is Lone Druid, but may not be tanky enough, or maybe he is. He gets the kill on Enigma with the bear right there. The Necronomicon trying to finish the job, but no, Exotic Deer juking into the trees. And he'll survive, so it seemed like Hellraiser's a big start. They didn't get the upfront kill on a Viper, and that kind of slowed things down a bit.
Yeah, the lineup here for Team Kinguin is very, very tanky. In fact, they have double pipe. To just put in perspective how much they want to push the whole tanky issue. I mean, Patos has one, of course, we saw that early on. Lone Druid built a second pipe. Obviously, I think the hood would have been just fine for him, but really wanted the pipe, I guess. There is a regen up top. It does look like the AA might fall. Taking some damage, but a nice stun there from Earthshaker. Maybe keeps him at bay. Does Quap go in for this? Oh, he didn't hit this. Yeah, very, very close to getting that, but Cockroach was there, kind of scaring him a little bit. Kaiser taking an ult there from Viper. Does force out the BKB because that stun was coming out in 1 second from the Earthshaker. And I believe that, is that his 10-second BKB? Nope, this is 9-1. He used it once last fight. Okay.
Yeah. So now he's going to be down to 8 seconds right here. But yeah, he probably had to at that point. He had overcommitted, going for that pick on Ancient Apparition, the tunnel vision. Thus we saw the end result for him. So that's going to be going on for a little bit longer again. But a smoke up play middle lane. They're going to catch Lich. So J4 just throws out the Chain Frost. Might as well, as he's dying anyways. And make a little bit of slow happen. But with that pick off, probably going to transition into the tier 2 middle tower here. Or maybe not. They might want to do Roshan.
Is under attack.
Black Hole is still down for another 30 seconds. So perhaps that opening they're looking for. K-Sword still chasing. Enigma going to be hit by the Fissure in the backline. So the Orchid comes out, and the nice Pearl Strike on top of that Sonic Wave there from Queen of Pain. Does finish the job, but meanwhile Roshan being attempted by a couple other heroes. Not enough of a distraction though. They lose 2, so they can't commit to it now. And now it's Hellraiser's turn to possibly try to poke at it, but clearly Roshan's going to be of interest here for both sides at this point in the game.
Yep, there is a BKB up now onto Lycan. He did not have it that last fight. He does have an ultimate as well. I will say that Lone Druid did a really good job about pushing lanes out. He pushed out bottom alone with his bear. Now he's pushing out mid with his bear. This could maybe still be a fight here for Team Kinguin. Yeah, they start to go in.
Malphite stun on Venomancer. He has his Poison Nova. Popsicle is probably going to use it as soon as it comes down. There we go. The pipe, the Poison Nova. Sexy Bamboo. He's TPing back, so he's not even going to be in this fight. Roshan's just about dead, but so is Patos, and Venomancer goes down after the side Viper. He's going to be stunned as well. Kaiser picks up the Aegis, and the Shapeshift form of 3-3 sitting on top of him, but realizing he's not going to win that fight, he starts to run. They get the kill on the Sand King, a little bit too much slow, and 3-3 falls as well. Bottom lane, though, you look at the damage done. You mentioned that Lone Druid doing work. He does end up dying for this, but he gets the range racks down here and forces Hellraisers to ultimately react to it. So yeah, Sexy Bamboo was kind of porting out as that fight was happening at Roshan. It definitely caused a bit of a distraction.
I don't know why Lone Druid wasn't in melee form for that. Like, he didn't even use the battle cry there, I don't think. Maybe it just got off cooldown. It is a long cooldown. So I thought he just didn't use it, but regardless, if he was in melee form, I think he maybe even lives there. It really boosts his HP. He does have an AC right now, but yeah, that Chain Frost was hitting him like, I think it actually hit his hero 5 times. And with that extra HP, it really could have, and he barely died, and also almost killed both of them. So I'm really curious as to why he was not in melee form there. But nonetheless, gets the range racks, has his AC now for the next battle. Will be quite strong. He is farming very, very well, as he's constantly, like I said, pushing out lanes with his bear.
I'm also looking at the farm on Enigma right here. The Octarine Core is actually almost finished, and he did go the 50% cooldown reduction ton as well, level 15. So the cooldowns are going to be pretty nice. I would not be surprised, honestly, to see a refresher. Yes. It seems like that's just the full goal here. Of course, for the Enigma, it's just Black Hole and the presence of it. So a second one, especially with all that CDR, does seem potentially pretty strong from him. But for now, the Octarine Core coming.
Yeah, I mean, the Black Hole low cooldown is very nice, but I mean, all his spells, double cooldown reduction. That means casting Midnight Pulse more often, casting your Malefice. I mean, Malefice is arguably one of the better stuns in the entire game. I hear an ultimate here from Lycan. It's on to Patos. He's very tanky, though. We'll see if they actually go through with this.
I'd hope not. Well, Kaiser's actually already pretty deep. He will finish the job on Ancient Apparition. That's not going to come at a cost because a little bit too far away. Now Viper, he's gone on 3-3. In comes a big Echo Slam on 3 different heroes, but the follow-up just is not there. It was more of a stalling Echo than anything. It did not accomplish what they wanted, though. Viper goes down, Patos still being run down, and so is that Earthshaker. In fact, Hellraiser's just continuing to just pick them off in separate locations. The Epicenter going to be negated somewhat by the Eos. Kaiser's getting low, and he is going to end up popping the Aegis for this right here. So they lose Sand King. Is he going to go for the kill on Patos? He pops the hood, or the pipe even. And the fear away will keep Queen of Pain from getting that kill on Venomancer, actually. So that's to show you again. You mentioned at the beginning of that whole fight that Venomancer, a tanky target indeed, and ends up surviving. But I still think the whole fight, most certainly won by Hellraisers there in the long run.
Yeah, the Viper is just not able to really do much in fights other than just sit there and be tanky. He does almost have a BKB, so that's going to give him a new level of protection in these fights. To just stand there and slow people up. Again, he still doesn't do that much damage, but if he can slow people and just kind of keep them at bay. Again, the reason why Lycan is so strong is he just doesn't care about slows at all. So when he has an ultimate, he has free reign. But very close to a BKB. I think he's, what, 500 gold away. That'll be a very big item for him. The Earthshaker Echo Slam was nice, yeah, but I think you nailed it. It was really more of a stalling tactic, if anything. Like, hopefully you're scared and you run away, but I can't actually kill you. You know, kind of Echo Slam.
Yeah, Ancient Apparition wasn't really ready there, and Venomancer had to use the Poison Nova previous to that, I believe. So it's just that idea of the combo wasn't really ready for follow-up. So in the end, Hellraisers 24-19 lead now as far as hero kills. I mean, the overall net worth is actually still favoring Kinguin, but a lot of that, you know, with the Lone Druid split push especially, definitely feeling it, and continues to go back to him. Now Assault Curios finished on that, and now a Mask of Madness even going to be queued up. So a pretty late Mask of Madness here, but still finding value in it for the bear.
Yeah.
There we go. Brings him back. And
yeah.
Is that kind of is that a sieging tool? Is that safe to say, like with the Mask of Madness?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Just, I mean, like you saw bottom when he was split pushing during that Roshan fight. If they just forget about him for 1 second, he's going to just rip their base apart with that demolish ability. So, yeah, sieging tool for him. BKB now up on the Viper. There was a potential pick-off play there from Kaiser as he was hiding in the woods, but his AC aura was actually hitting the Ancient Apparition through the trees. So it kind of gave a little bit of a tell there. They are throwing out just a casual ultimate. They're like, hey, we know you're there, trying to split push and trying to pick off people. They might even think about a Tinker Ward up here in the top lane, just so they can scout out those shenanigans there from Kaiser.
Yeah, well, that coach just always referred to as the Tinker Ward.
Yep.
But that's the hero that's made it popular, I know, so definitely could be something they think about. As just saw Queen of Pain doing exactly that. But bottom lane being pushed out while the distraction's happening up top a little bit. The tier 2 tower is still up, though. We saw that fight happening at it earlier, and yet been able to actually finish the job. And We thought Venomancer was already tanky. He throws on now a Lotus Orb as well. So Lotus Orb seems like it's going to be a nice purge effect this game in general, and obviously tanking him up that much more. So this Venomancer, good luck killing him, man. I know he had the... Okay, he did end up getting the axe too, yeah. So I know he had like queued up earlier. What is this?
Oh, Sand King.
Sand King, okay. Another Echo Slam once again, but still.
Look at how fast he attacks.
Yeah.
The bear, so it's funny because you don't typically see the bear build that often anymore. In fact, you don't see Lone Druid just in general picked up, so seeing this attack speed is pretty hilarious.
Yeah, it just beats down the tower, so that's something to look forward to if you're Kinguin. That's Kaiser. He knows Kaiser's in the area, I believe. And gonna end up blinking away or too much happens with that. Gem, by the way, on Ancient Apparition currently. Looks like that is his own. As Venomancer will keep the bottom lane from being heavily pushed in. Back to the top, they do catch Kaiser. Savage War comes out, the Ice Blast is going to connect in time, and they don't even need it. Kaiser credit for the kill, but that bear beatdown, man. No doubt doing plenty. He's dead for 80 seconds. Does have a buyback. Definitely want to force this out if you're Kinguin here.
Yeah, double damage just picked up by Patos as well. So he's walking towards, yeah, if anything, they can definitely force this out. Obviously, there's still Blink BKB Black Hole for Enigma, and if things do go sour, he does have a buyback as well. So I thought they were just going to try to stall this out and wait for level 25 onto the Venomancer, as he's quite close, but this is an opportunity you need to take. So
oh, here we go, Epicenter. That's on the bear.
Okay.
Up in the half-life. That seemed like a very... Don't know about that. Okay. Reaction. Middle lane. Double damage on Venomancer, as mentioned, so take advantage of that, and now the bear is just going to go here and beat down the tower with that vulnerability to come out. But again, no Epicenter now. Queen of Pain still has that buyback, 25 more seconds before she's naturally up. God, they're just split pushing all three lanes here. Really keeping them distracted. The bear is going to die. He will summon the new one. But look at the top lane while that's happening. Viper's beating down this tower. He did not get the talent for the attack in the buildings, but using that range as nope. Sexy Bambo comes over with the black hole looking for the kill on the Viper. Is to get stopped, but he didn't pop the BKB for that. And now Nisha is able to TP out freely. That was a misplay.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue that he was maybe thinking that he didn't need to, but if you're committing a black hole, you need to make sure it's magic immune, so... Yeah, I agree with you. I think it definitely should have done that. That top tower will be denied.
Top tower has been denied.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for them, right? I mean, they unfortunately they didn't use the Epicenter to really anybody except a bear. Got him down to half HP. They do hold. I mean, yeah, they lost to tier 3. Took some damage. Mid. I think they got the tier 3 in mid as well. So, but again, this is really favoring Kinguin. They're stalling for that Venomancer level 25. Like, that is going to be so... If they're having a difficult time defending now, imagine when those wards have 3 times HP and damage. So, and he's very, very close. So, it's going to be way more difficult when he gets that.
Hold again, Black Hole. Mention the refresher. Will he use that right here? He hasn't used it just yet. He jumped in as if he might have been making a play, but... Nope, not the case. 30 more seconds before that Black Hole. The first one would be off cooldown here. So it looks like they are going to buy time for that at least. Because that's a couple of the players DCing on Hellraiser's side. But you see Kinguin where they're heading. Definitely going towards the Roshan pit. And looking to get both the Aegis and the Chiefs to follow. Been thinking about this with Lone Druid. With this build especially. The idea... Obviously Abyssal Blade is going to be great. But after Abyssal Blade, could you see maybe him going an Ags even this game? Or would that not make sense to you?
On Lone Druid?
On Lone Druid, yeah.
Yeah, that's certainly fine. In fact, I usually, like the last 3 times I want to say I saw Lone Druid picked up, and he was played in bear form. They actually went Ags really early, like second item. I even saw sometimes. I don't agree with that, but yeah, I could definitely see a case for Ags this game.
Nope, now it's Earthshaker's time to DC here. Probably a restart of sorts. Yeah, proven to be a pretty tight first game here in the series. Kinguin versus Hellraisers, best of 3. Again, winner moves on to face Empire in the finals. Also claims that land spot here for the SkinCoin WCA. The loser will be playing later on today in a 3rd place matchup, where $7,500 will be on the line. Winner takes all for that game there. will be playing against Effect. Lost earlier to Empire, so cap there as far as how the day has gone so far. Double black hole from Enigma online. They would love to use that opportunity, perhaps in that Roshan pit. And if you're the Radiant side right here, you feel that they're doing Roshan. I assume you feel confident enough that you could run out and try to stop it, right?
I'm not so sure. It's hard to kind of navigate through all those Veno wards and possible Radiance burn or whatnot. Penguin did I say Penguin? Kinguin are playing this well. You know how strong a BKB black hole with refresher is. You have to split them up. You can't just go one. If you just go one lane, you're just asking to get 3-man black hole. So you have to split it up. And what they did last fight, I mean, they didn't even kill the Viper, but you basically have to have him as a sacrificial lamb. Him or the Veno or even the Lone Druid. But if you're committing a black hole to one side, then you can at least secure another lane. So playing this well. Now HR, what they have to do is they have to jump early. And especially the fact that they have 2 ultimates on Enigma, so you can be a little bit more liberal with them. They do need to jump early and recognize that fact that Kinguin are not just going to fight you straight up. They're going to split you. They're going to utilize that split push power that they have. All the heroes.
Well, that Roshan, it's dying way too fast. I mean, it seems like that they want to come over here and stop it, but unless they really go now, they might get here just in time. Venomancer, though, kind of cutting off an easier route. So is the Earthshaker. Off to the side, you also see Sand King goes in a pretty good time. The black hole comes out for a 60-man bow, and it's going to be snatched by Milan right there. They also got the kill on Roshan. The second black hole coming out, and Viper's in trouble. He's going to go down. Lone Druid's dead with no buyback. They buy back Ancient Apparition, but that's not going to matter. Venomancer's now going to fall as well, most likely. Pato's trying to live as long as possible. He is a damn tanky target, but he's not going to be tanky enough, and he too will go down. Well, Hellraisers, they decide to defend it, and the clutch timing, man, to go in when they did.
It was so low that I think the black hole actually killed it, and Sand King walked up and took the Aegis. That's how low it was. Geez, and you got the buyback on the Ancient Apparition. There's no buyback on Viper, no buyback on Lone Druid. Again, man, I hate to say it, but it seems like every game is kind of made or broken, make or break, off of Roshan. This could be a very big swing here for HR. The fact that I just said 2 main cores don't have buyback. Of course, Veno does, and yeah, he will use it right now, level 25. But, boy, huge swing here for HR.
Can't really get much out of this, though, with the buildings that buyback. You mentioned level 25, so those Plague Wards extra powerful, and he's going to start throwing those down now. But the melee racks, it seems like it should be taking too much damage here to defend. Milan distracting them. Shapeshift activated by 3-3 as he now heads towards the middle lane. The tier 2 is still up. They'll have to kill that first. If they wanted to do more, probably not.
See, now I thought that was a misplay by Bambo because he actually didn't reactivate his BKB for the second ult. He just wanted to, and probably the reason being is like he had a very good ulti. He just wanted to cast it immediately before touching anything else. But it was a little bit iffy. He didn't use a second BKB, and he actually could have. Earthshaker could have just stunned. But if you saw, he actually just blinked directly into the black hole. He blinked. Oh. He literally blinked in the black hole when he could have just, I think, fissured. Maybe he was just assuming he would have cast his BKB. Yeah. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he didn't activate his BKB for the second black hole, and maybe could have turned things around there. But yeah, Conqueror wasn't able to get any of his spells off that fight.
Now Kinguin having to react after what just happened, and goes back to that. This is definitely still a winnable game for them, but yeah, another Roshan fight that swings it in favor of one team, in this case Hellraisers. They do take out the top set of racks. And now Queen of Pain, she's level 25 herself, which means that 60% lifesteal. A Mjolnir just about finished, and you know, with that item, with that talent, it makes this hero insanely difficult to actually kill these fights here. So that's going to be big news for Hellraisers. You have Lycan, who of course is also getting closer and closer, and that shapeshift duration is a nice ability for him to have. And then you have the Lich thrown on top of that, just constantly armoring up the base, and if he manages to get level 25 as well at this rate, he could very likely, with how things are looking in the near future, then good luck killing buildings, man. I mean, they're gonna be that much tougher to kill. I mean, yes, the bear build is made for destroying buildings ideally, but it's gonna become a much more of an uphill battle. Is the point here for Kinguin as we continue to move along here. So the Ags on Lone Druid, it is gonna be the choice for him right now. But is that necessarily the answer right now?